Astro-Bluebonnet Bowl, and he'll open at quarterback tonight. The deep backs going back for West Virginia. Willie Drury is back there, number 48. He can really cut it loose. And kicking off for Texas Christian will be John Denton, who handles the kickoffs and the long kicks. And we're all set to go, and we're delighted to have you with us for this New Year's Eve tradition from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. John Denton ready to put the ball in the air. And here we go. You'll notice TCU kicks across the field. That ball going into the end zone. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. It bounds. Why do they kick it across the field?
Well, they kick that ball at that type of angle. It cuts down the return area. You're almost like only have to cover half the field.
All right, let's look at the defensive alignment for the Horned Frogs at TCU. And Kevin Dean will anchor one side, Paul Jones the other. Kent Trammell is the backbone of that defensive line, however. L.B. Washington starting at one of the tackle spots, Darren Turner the other. Taylor and Spann, the linebackers, they're good ones. They're a little bit thin there. We'll get to the deep backs in a moment. And on the first play of the ball game, there is Drury taking the pass from Kevin White. He's down the near sideline and out of bounds across the midfield stripe to the 47-yard line, where he is chased out by Billy Jones. Number one, the free safety, a pickup of 33 yards.
Well, we anticipated big play, big opening, starting play. They brought Drury in motion, then brought him back across the field. He started went one way, then cut back across the grain, was wide open. That's the type of plays we anticipate out of West Virginia this evening.
So the Mountaineers down on the 47-yard line. Here are the deep backs who will have to contend with that passing attack. Sean Thomas at All-America as the left cornerback, and Byron Linwood, one of the hardest hitting safeties you will ever see. It's like a linebacker. Slot left, West Virginia. White again to the air, wasting no time, going for the big yardage. And again, he has hit Willie Drury. And Drury is out of bounds inside the TCU 20 at the 15-yard line, chased out by Sean Thomas, the All-America quarterback.
Drury's a man that they go to. They were in a slot formation. The outside receiver went down and went to the outside. Now Drury went down, then broke it out to the corner. TCU caught in a man-to-man coverage. And of course, you see, they've got Thomas lined up, taking Drury man for man. It's going to be a tough matchup this evening. Thomas against Drury.
Drury now 33 yards on the first reception, 28 yards on that one. The ball spotted back at the 19-yard line of TCU, West Virginia in possession. White goes to his tailback. That's Gay, and Gay slams off his own right tackle down across the 15 to about the 12. Sean Thomas, the cornerback, number 22, and Byron Linwood, 35, the strong safety, up to make the hit after a 6-yard pickup.
Well, that's the way you like to see your offense open up the ball game. Two quick passes, got TCU thinking pass, then they come back with the running play. Right now, West Virginia doing what they want to do. TCU has to settle down defensively.
West Virginia lost its last 3 ball games to Virginia, Rutgers, and Temple, but tonight they're playing like they did in the earlier part of the season when they were very healthy. That is Brown in motion to the left side. On the dive, it is Wolfley, the fullback, stopped by Turner, number 93, the defensive right tackle, a junior out of Houston, Texas, and West Virginia's inside the TCU 10. Don Naylor, we talked about him, 40 and 19 at West Virginia, 4 straight bowl appearances. First year he was 6 and 6, then he had 3 consecutive 9 and 3 seasons in West Virginia. This year, 7 and 4. It's a third down and inches to go for West Virginia. The ball inside the 10. Harvey Smith splits wide to the left side. Wolfley has the first down at the 5. First and goal to go. Stopped by Gary Spann, the linebacker, number 57. And so the Mountaineers taking the opening kickoff, taking the ball from their own 20 on the touchback and marching right down to the TCU 5, where it is first and goal to go.
Well, now you see down here now, TCU has taken their free safety out, put an extra defensive lineman in. They'll be in what you call a 6-man defensive lineman, 5 defensive back or linebacker type alignment. They'll be forced to play man for man. West Virginia may try to take advantage of that.
David Stradlin, 55. David Caldwell, 48, have come in to beef up that TCU line on the first and goal. A fake handoff and an incomplete pass for a touchdown to the end zone to Todd Fisher. Fisher just simply couldn't handle the ball. Garland Littles, number 20, the cornerback, the freshman, had the pass coverage on the play. It is second down and goal to go in the TCU 5.
Well, it was a well-designed play, Merrill. He just neglected to catch the football. football. They faked a play-action play, rolled out to his right, and so Fisher, of course, was wide open. Fisher from Canton McKinley, where Donnie Naylor began his high school coaching career.
And Canton McKinley has produced so many outstanding football players. Mullen is in, Smith is out as the wideout, and Mullen goes in motion for West Virginia. On the dive, straight ahead goes the fullback Wolfley, number 36. He is stopped by Darren Turner after a yard or so, and it'll be 3rd down and goal to go, coming up from about the 3-yard line of TCU. West Virginia really shocking Texas Christian. The Horned Frogs reeling, but that defense now called on to hold here on a 3rd down and goal to go. As TCU has been hit with 2 long pass plays to Willie Drury. Then West Virginia going back to what it does very well, run the ball. 3rd and goal, and here we go. The tailback Jay stopped at the 2-yard line. Kevin Dean, 97, the sophomore out of Newton, Texas. A very tough defensive football player, makes the stop at his 4th and goal.
Well, it's just a play now. Their offensive line really has to fire out and move them off the line of scrimmage. You see Gay going right up through there. Good force in there, but the defensive secondary kept him from getting into the end zone. Good job by Taylor, the linebacker.
Fisher is in as a tight end, double tight end for West Virginia. They're going to go for 4th down and goal to go on the 2-yard line. Watch this play. Play action. Touchdown, West Virginia. Going to Wolfley, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. And the Mountaineers on a 4th and goal to go. Go for the big one and get it.
Well, what they forced TCU's defense to do was the big sophomore, David Caldwell. They forced him to get involved in coverage. You see him coming across the motion. Now, there's the fake inside. Now that outside linebacker position has to get out there to cover it. Very difficult coverage for Caldwell, the sophomore. This is kind of what we anticipated, Merrill, that with some of these sophomores playing, there might be a mistake or two made. A little bit of a pick in for the touchdown. And, of course, Don Nalen showed it's going to be a wide-open ball game as we anticipated.
Now the extra point try. It'll be Paul Woodside, the All-America kicker, for the try, and bangs away at it and kicks it right through the uprights of the Mountaineers. Take a 7-0 lead with 11 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the first quarter. They take the opening kickoff and drive 80 yards for a lead touchdown. And so, with the timeout of the field, it is West Virginia 7, TCU nothing. Will return to the Astrodome after this. Yeah, shocking TCU with an 80-yard touchdown drive after the opening kickoff. It took them 9 plays to do it. They opened with 2 big pass plays to Willie Drury, the All-America wideout, and they did it in 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Going back deep, Scott Ankrum is number 5, Roscoe Tatum 33 for Texas Christian to take the kickoff. And it is banged downfield by Paul Woodside, taken by Ankrum at about the 5. Ankrum trying to get to the outside, trying to turn that corner, and he can't do it. He is stormed under by number 5, Travis Curtis, who chased him all the way across the field, yanks him down. TCU will start its first offensive drive inside its own 20. They'll mark the ball at about the 15.
There's another angle of the touchdown, looking right at the quarterback now. You can see him fake the play action pass, come reverse pivot, come out of there now. And right away he's looking for Gay going out to the outside into the flat. Of course, it's very difficult for the linebacker to get out there.
Here come the Horned Frogs at their own 15-yard line. Anthony Gully, number 11, is the quarterback. Tony Jeffrey, 27. Kenneth Davis, 36, are the running backs. That's Manus in motion. Back to the close side of the field. And on the option, Gully spins away and gets out to about the 20-yard line, where he is stormed under and knocked down by Matt Smith, number 50, the strong inside linebacker. It'll be second down about 5, and let's go down to Steve Grad on the West Virginia side of the field. Steve?
Quarterback Kevin White engineered a 9-play touchdown drive with a gutsy 4th and goal from the 2. Tell us a little more about it.
Well, we came into this game, we said we were going to let it all hang out. We're not being conservative at all. We got nothing to lose. We're looking for big plays, and we're going to throw the ball. We're going to do a little bit of everything.
You looked confident.
Now TCU, the big play team, getting Kenneth Davis to the outside for the first down and more. He's out to the 30, knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Kenneth Davis, the consensus All-America halfback from Temple, Texas, a junior at TCU, picking up plenty of yardage for the first down, and the ball will be officially spotted just outside the 30, possibly on the 30, no, at the 31. It's 1st and 10, TCU. A gain of 12 yards by Davis, who had over 1,600 yards rushing this year, but if you want to be exact, it is 1,611 yards for the speedster from Temple. First and 10, TCU. Gully handing off to Tony Jeffrey, and Jeffrey gets stacked up short of the 35. A gain of about 3 on the play, and they unpile with Fred Smalls, number 30. The left outside linebacker, Stacy Smith, number 4. The strong quarterback, David Grant, number 98. The nose tackle, the freshman from Belleville, New Jersey. Right now, we're looking at the West Virginia side of the field, and the coaching staff over there starting to diagram plays. That's Dave McMichael, the offensive line coach. Gully on the option. Gully having trouble. Gets out of the track, though. He's at the 40. He can go at midfield and down into West Virginia territory and out of bounds at the 45-yard line of West Virginia. Gain of 20. Stacy Smith chased him out of bounds.
Well, this just shows you what great speed Gully has. This is a busted play. West Virginia has the play well taken care of, but you see with his great athletic 4-5 speed, he comes back to the outside and turns it into a good play. Now that's athletic ability. West Virginia failed to contain from the backside. Got to look at it from another side. You can see down in the trenches there what happens. They didn't contain him. He escapes out the backside.
Keith Burnett is now in the ball game, split wide to the right at the top of your screen, and in motion goes number 80, Dan Sharp, as Gully calls a play on the West Virginia 45. Gully pitching and giving to Jeffrey. Jeffrey breaking tackles, getting across the 40 to the West Virginia 39. Gully had that ball right in the stomach of Kenneth Davis, pulled it out, went to Jeffrey, and he is brought down by Travis Curtis, number 5, the sophomore from Potomac, Maryland.
We'll start raising them young there in West Virginia, those Mountaineer fans.
And they grow up in a hurry. Like, how about Mr. Joswiak, huh? Second down and 4 coming up for TCU. We have 9 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. Mountaineers of West Virginia University leading by a score of 7-0 on an 80-yard touchdown drive. James Manus splits out wide to the right side. Two-time All-America sprinter. Gully the option. Gully on the pitch to Davis. Davis being strung out to the near sideline and thrown out of bounds by Larry Holly, the free safety, number 9, who came up from the secondary.
The difference between the first 2 option plays outside where they made big yardage and this play was that there was not a missed tackle. Both earlier option plays where they got the ball outside, missed tackles by the cornerbacks and safety coming up. You get Davis one-on-one, he's going to make him miss a lot of times this evening, but that play, Holly did a great job of making the tackle.
That play good for a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for Texas Christian as Mike Flynn, number 69, the center, comes up over the ball, and Gully, the quarterback, calls a play. 3rd down 2, TCU. To throw. Gully completes the pass to Manus for a first down inside the 30, down near the 27, and Andrew Jones, number 6, the weak side quarterback, had the coverage on the play. He's a freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
This was just an excellent job by Gully. He's audible to this play. He sees the one-on-one coverage. He fakes a little bit of a rollout, rolls out to his right. Now Manus is a one-on-one situation. The defensive back, Jones, has to respect Manus' speed, so he lays off of him. Excellent call on 3rd and 2.
And it is first down on the 28-yard line of West Virginia. That West Virginia line anchored by middle guard David Grant, the freshman from Belleville, New Jersey. The Mountaineer on the sideline. Here is a handoff going to Kenneth Davis. Davis gets inside the 25. Let's see where they spot the ball. They may put it down at about the 24-yard line. Kenneth Davis, the All-America, who has caught passes for 200 yards but run for 1,611 yards this year. And it is West Virginia 7-0 with 8 minutes, 37 seconds left to play in the first period, and a 2nd down 6 coming up after a 4-yard pickup by Kenneth Davis. A typical Bluebonnet Bowl football game, the way it's starting. Wide open offenses. Over the years, in 25 years of Bluebonnet Bowl play, the two teams have averaged better than 50 points a game. Gully looking to throw, throws for the touchdown. It is incomplete, intended for number 84, Keith Burnett, a world-class sprinter out of Yates High School in Houston, Texas, and Andrew Jones right with him, number 6, the weak quarterback. Keith Burnett has averaged 23 yards per catch. Don Nealon, knowing that he is in for a wild football game tonight. Of course, he's been in a few. He's had a big season. Here's a team that beat Boston College, also knocked off Pitt and Penn State. And you look at TCU, a team that beat Houston right here in the Astrodome this year. West Virginia beating Boston College. Those two teams in the Cotton Bowl. Gully Gully throwing, Gully to Manus. Manus catches the ball, goes out of bounds. It's a reception at about the 11-yard line. Coverage on the play by Andrew Jones, the weak quarterback, number 6. A gain of 16 yards to Manus.
Well, he just turned to play around that they had run to the other side. Gully rolls out, and of course you got the one-on-one situation. This is Manus one-on-one against the defensive back Jones. Jones has to give here. So we got a nice shot of this. Watch him go down. Watch him break to the outside. You see the defensive back doesn't have any help, so he has to give ground off. Respects his speed. Now it's a long way to cover the ground in there. Catches it, gets the foot down, stays.
First down 10 at the 11-yard line. They can get the first down without the touchdown. Just outside the 10. Kenneth Davis up the middle. Davis not getting too much dare as the hole was closed in a hurry. He gets 3 yards on the play before David Grant, the nose tackle, or no middle guard, if you will, number 98, and Stacy Smith, number 4, the strong quarterback, make the hit on Kenneth Davis. It'll be second down.
Well, as he comes out now, he's just reading. That's the Veer offense. He will read the play of that defensive tackle. If he closes to the inside, he'll step it outside. If that tackle isn't closing, he'll hand it out.
Jim Wacker, unbelievable is what he calls his team. Manus and Burnett are now in as the wideouts. They're in a slot wide right for TCU. Gully, the option. Gully getting a block. He's at the 5 and is inside the 5 and dropped. James Manus came back to give him a terrific block. Stacy Smith, number 4, the strong cornerback, and Matt Smith, number 50, the strong inside linebacker, brought him down.
Well, that was a great example of the play of what we had just talked about. The defensive tackle closes down to the inside. Gully pulled the ball back out instead of giving it to the fullback. Stepped outside there, maintained the ball himself, and picked up the good yardage.
This is the 13th play coming up on the TCU drive. The ball at the 5-yard line. Third down and 4 yards to go for a first down. 5 yards for a touchdown. Let's see what this West Virginia defense can do now. Gully throwing for the touchdown, and he has got it to number 80. Dan Sharp is flex end, they're tied in, and Sharp scores his 8th touchdown of the year. He led the Southwest Conference in touchdown receptions this year.
Well, just as a roll-out play, Sharp made a fake like he stepped down to the inside, gave it the late time. Now Sharp is breaking to the outside, wide open in the corner of the end zone, all by himself. It's very difficult when you're playing one-on-one. Stacy Smith from Akron, Ohio, in a very difficult coverage situation.
So with 6:40 to go in the first quarter, TCU has tied it, and Ken Ozzie is in for the extra point try, and he is perfect. That's 46 out of 48 for him this year. Make that John Denton, beg your pardon. And so we have a tie ball game with 6 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. West Virginia scoring first at an 80-yard drive. TCU coming right back to march it in. And we've got a timeout, and we'll be back after this word from your local station. John Denton will kick off for TCU. We are tied at 7. 6 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's Tony Johnson, number 16, back there. And Willie Drury, though, takes the ball back in the end zone, and here he comes. Drury chased out of bounds inside the 20 at about the 16-yard line by Tom Sharp, a cornerback for TCU, playing on the specialty teams.
We got another angle shot of the touchdown by TCU. You see him come out from underneath center. Watch him make the fake to the fullback. Fullback coming in there. Now he rolls out to his right. All the time looking for Sharp on the one-on-one situation in the end zone. Just lobs it in there. Very difficult coverage. The defensive backs really have to concentrate when you're in the goal line area. They're worried about forcing for the run, but they also have to stay with their keys of the receiver they're responsible for.
Here we go. West Virginia in possession again. Mullen and Drury, the wideouts for West Virginia. And Kevin White looking up to the air again. Goes to the far side. Completes it to number 84. His tight end, Rob Bennett. And Bennett is chased out of bounds by Byron Linwood. And he will be very close to a first down and may have it. Dennis Brown, the defensive coordinator, getting his troops over there on the sideline, saying, hey, we're going to stop these guys the next time.
Well, there they are in the I formation. Fakes a draw. Comes out now. All the while, Rob Bennett is breaking to the outside. Had great protection. Key to the play was a great protection. Good concentration of Bennett with his hands. Bennett playing with a huge knee brace on. They hope that he can hold up throughout the course of the whole ball game.
Rob Bennett, 6'6", 249 pounds, out of Buckhannon, West Virginia. And here come the Mountaineers. An inside handoff going to Wolfley, the fullback. And Wolfley, look at him run, will you? out of bounds, chased out of bounds to the 42-yard line. It's a first down for West Virginia on a pickup of 16 yards by hard-running Ron Wolfley, number 36, and the blocker was his tailback, John Gay, number 46.
Well, that's just what you like to have happen. Get them thinking about your passing game. They've had great success passing. Now they go back, they fake the pass, hand the draw off, and of course he made great yardage running up through there. Well, there must be a flag on the play, it looks like.
Ron Wolfley out of Orchard Park, New York, just outside Buffalo.
Been a late flag, I guess, over the sideline there, Merle.
Well, while we get the ruling on that, we'll let you know that Kevin White has hit 4 out of 5 passes for 73 yards and 1 touchdown, and we've got a penalty called against West Virginia.
There's a good shot on the sideline down there. That's Brad Hunt, who's a defensive lineman for West Virginia. He has a calcium spot on the top of his head. Why do you know he has a calcium spot? So they have designed this mask that'll keep it from irritating it when he puts his helmet on. Looks like someone out of outer space playing. But
there's no way you could keep Hunt out of this ball game. Major penalty against West Virginia. Let's listen.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. First down.
It's a first down, West Virginia, after a 15-yard penalty. We'll show you the play.
Well, evidently, after the play was way over. Well, that's a West Virginia guy getting hit going out of bounds there. Of course, he must have got up and said something or got involved back in the play because it's 1st and 25 from West Virginia's standpoint now.
That was a dead ball foul, so that'll be 15 plus 10, and the first down yardage will be at the 47 of TCU. As up the middle, and John Gay having a little trouble holding on to the football. He picked up 4 yards as Kent Trammell, number 91, the nose guard, and Gary Spann, 57, the right linebacker, with help from David Caldwell, 48, all in there to make the stop.
Well, you can rest assured that Don Nalen is very unhappy with that penalty, whatever it was called for, whatever happened at the end of the play. You sure don't like to start out with 1st and 25, especially when you're having success moving the football the way they have the first 2 times they've had their hands on the ball.
Second down, 20 yards to go with 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter in the 26th Bluebonnet Bowl game in the Astrodome in Houston. Kevin White being rushed, and down he goes. Paul Jones, 82, coming from the outside with Kevin Dean, and a blindside tackle nailed him back at the 25-yard line.
Well, here he goes. You see him on the roll line now. He's got contained. He has to pull up from the backside now. Of course, the guard in the center. That center is trying to pull out to get there. Very difficult block. See the center? Now watch the center try to look and work to the backside. On the left corner of the picture, you're going to see him coming. He just couldn't get out there to make the pickup on the play.
A loss of 7. It'll be 3rd down and 27 on the Mountaineer 25-yard line. What a first quarter, huh? And a happy new year to you. Wherever you might be watching across America tonight, delighted to have you with us. White under a rush again. Dean trying to get him and tripped him up, and he goes down on the 20-yard line. Make that Paul Jones. Jones coming from the right side with L.B. Washington, 58. And White just couldn't hold his feet, and he goes down for still another loss, and it's 4th and 32.
Well, Joswiak is really having problems with that backside rusher over there. He's got to get back and get set a little bit deeper, a little bit quicker. Otherwise, Kevin's going to have problems throwing the ball all evening.
Steve Superek is coming on to kick for West Virginia. They call him Soupy. He's a junior from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Going back deep for TCU or Garland Littles, number 20, as Superek gets the kick away, and it is a boomer, and Littles will field it on his own 26-yard line. Good coverage by West Virginia, and he winds up at about the 32, losing his football helmet, but not the football. So it will be a first down at the 32-yard line of TCU on a kick of 53 yards. And we'll be back with more action from the Bluebonnet Bowl after this from your local stations. Merle Herman and Ed Biles with you at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. It rained very heavily this morning, and then the sun came out this afternoon, but it really doesn't matter a whole lot. It's 70 degrees inside the Astrodome all the time. TCU, a 5-yard penalty, and moving the ball back to the 23 as Gully comes out and immediately hands off to Davis, who immediately gets nailed hard by Brad Hunt, number 70, the freshman left tackle from Ripley, West Virginia. So he lost a couple of yards on the play. Kenneth Davis, I don't think he's ever been hit any harder than that.
He hasn't lost many of them in his career. He's averaging 7.6 per carry. That's incredible when you think about that, Merle. 7 yards a carry.
Little trainer work being done on the far sideline, and it is second down, 12 yards to go for TCU. Gully rolling to right to throw, and throws long. It is caught by number 84, Keith Burnett. And Burnett, the world-class sprinter, is out of bounds on a 33-yard pickup down into West Virginia territory on the 46-yard line.
Well, the defensive back just simply slipped on us. He did a good job of coming like he was going into the post, but then he broke out to the outside. Watch the defensive back. You'll see him. He had fallen down, gotten back up, trying to recover on that play. Burnett showing his world-class finish. Putting on a little show for the home fans. He's a local boy from Houston Yates High School here in town.
For the benefit of our stations, we'd like to tell you that our next break will be for our local station. So stand by for our next break. Here comes Gully, rolling right, left rather, looking, going for the bomb to Manus. Incomplete. Good defensive effort there for number 6, Andrew Jones out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A blue chipper all the way. He's played every down since the Boston College game, and he had a game-saving defensive effort there. I should say touchdown. Saving effort.
That freshman from Fort Lauderdale is going to get his baptism tonight, because Manus and Sharp are both great, outstanding receivers with excellent speed, and they're not afraid. TCU's not afraid to put the ball up in the air.
Manus comes to the sideline. Burnett comes in to replace him. Manus needs one catch for 100 for his career. The Horned Frogs tied with West Virginia at 7. 3:13 to go in the first quarter. Second down 10 on the West Virginia 46. Gully on the option. And he is yanked down by Van Richardson, the weak side linebacker. Van, number 37 from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Third in tackles for West Virginia with 83, and we'll make that 84.
Well, that's just a perfect clinic way of playing the option. Van Richardson had the quarterback as he came on down line scrimmage, just stayed with him all the way. If the quarterback kept the ball, he had to make the tackle. Defensive cornerback was in a position, if he had made the pitch, he was running almost stride for stride with Jeffrey coming to the outside.
It is third down. Third down and 6 on the 42-yard line of West Virginia. TCU 2 out of 3 in first down situations so far. Gully at quarterback. Gully under a rush, gets it away to Kenneth Davis. Can Davis get the first down? No, he does not. Davis forced out of bounds inside the 40-yard line of the Mountaineers. And it'll be fourth down for Texas Christian University.
Well, West Virginia came with a blitz. They really came hard from the backside. He had a good play called. It was a screen. He wanted to get a screen accomplished to Davis out there, but the lineman really couldn't get out because of the blitz situation that developed.
Davis, 146.5 yards per game this year. Southwest Conference Player of the Year and a consensus All-America. James Gargis has come in to kick for TCU. Willie Drury is back deep for the Mountaineers. Gargis, senior rather, from Mesquite, Texas, which is just outside Dallas. Andrew Jones is also back for West Virginia. He's number 6. He's the up man. And it is Willie Drury as the deep man at the 10-yard line. They're anticipating Gargis is going to try to kick that ball out of bounds inside the 10 if he can. Let's see what he can do with it. Gargis drives it downfield, angling for the corner, and let's see where they line it up. It's going to be at about the 7. A fine kick by Gargis, 32 yards out of bounds on the 7. That's where the West Virginia will take over. We've got a timeout right now with 1:38 to go in the first period. A tie ball game. We'll return to the Astrodome after this. It'll be the Senior Bowl, North against the South, live from Mobile, Alabama. And we hope that you'll be watching as we continue the postseason coverage of outstanding football games.
Yeah, that's a big ball game, Earl, from all the pro coaches' standpoint. They all get down there, get a chance to take a look at those seniors, evaluate them in professional drills.
The Mountaineers backed up at their own 7-yard line after the kick by Gargis. Mullen in motion, being covered by Sean Thomas, who goes to his side. The handoff gets very little as Gerald Taylor comes up to make the tackle. It was Ron Wolfley, number 36, the co-captain and fullback, getting out to about the 12-yard line. It'll be second down 6, giving him 4 yards on the carry. Ron Wolfley from Orchard Park, New York, a 4-year letterman. Willie Drury has come in. Todd Fisher has gone out now for West Virginia. Don Nealon, outstanding young coach at West Virginia. 4 consecutive bowl appearances now. Little play action. White throwing to the far side for Drury again, and Drury thrown out of bounds by Littles as he crosses the 30 to the 31. Well, one of TCU's plans after that gain of 18, one of the plans for TCU was to flip Thomas, the All-American defensive back, to Drury's side, but this time he is matched up with Littles.
Well, I think that first drive, maybe the defensive coaches probably was concerned that making the change in what they've been doing all year, they'd go back to what their normal procedure is. That's playing Thomas to the wide side of the field. Drury took advantage of the one-on-one coverage.
Harvey Smith is in. Gary Mullen is out as a wideout. Here comes Drury in motion to the near side. Littles has him covered. Handoff going to the tailback, John Hollifield, number 20 now in the ball game, and he is up across the 35 to the 38 for a gain of 6, brought down by Gerald Taylor, 37 the linebacker, and Linwood, 35 the strong safety.
Well, the key to this type play is that offensive line play just blowing out, controlling the line of scrimmage. The lead back is going through there trying to pick someone up. Back just driving straight ahead, picking up the 7 yards. Good play by the offensive line. DeJarnett, Jolliffe, and Lake on that play.
John Hollifield, who carried that ball, is a walk-on out of Romulus, Michigan. Second down 4 for West Virginia. Play action. White wants it all. This time he's going for Mullen, number 1, and he is on the way. Touchdown. A 62-yard touchdown pass.
Well, he just faked the draw, and all Mullen did was take off and run down the field. Little's a freshman has just having trouble with his speed. He just outrun with speed. Great over-the-shoulder catch down by Mullen. Now, one of the most difficult passes for a receiver to catch is when that ball comes down over the top of your head and over your shoulders. Great concentration on the ball falling into his hands.
So, with 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, Paul Woodside trying to give, or Suprick rather, trying to give a good hold to Suprick, and he's got the extra point. So Suprick adds the extra point, and it is now 14-7, West Virginia over TCU. 14 seconds to go in the first quarter. White now 7 out of 8, 155 yards and 2 touchdowns, and here's the last one.
Look at that concentration, that ball coming down over the shoulder. That's a much more difficult catch than people imagine when the ball's up in the air. Well, that's what we anticipated. We got 191 yards of offense. Look at him. Plant that back foot, throw hard against the front foot, put it up in the air, gives him the opportunity to run underneath it. He just simply outruns the defensive back. Littles and Billy Jones trying to come over from the free safety position.
Now let's go down to Steve Grad.
Gary Mullen, you got your breath back. You outran the ball. Tell me how you got so open.
Well, basically, it was a deep pattern. I don't think he knew it was a deep pattern. I just ran past him, and the ball was there.
What did you think about when you were clear and that ball was coming?
I didn't know if I was going to catch it or not.
Gary Mullen, Merle.
All right, Steve, we're going to give you another look at it. Deserves it on a 62-yard TD pass.
Well, they've come out with the wide open that we expected, and White just threw that about as long as he could possibly throw it, and Mullen just said, hey, I'm going to run and catch the football. And I like the action in the end zone, regardless of what the rules are now. Let them have some fun. That's what it's all about, Merle.
Clinton, Brown, and Tatum are back deep, and now Brown came out. He's got to go with the football, trying to get out wide, and he is going to be wrestled down back near the 5-yard line by West Virginia's number 5, Tracy Travis Curtis, who comes up with a big tackle, and it'll be first down back in the 5-yard line for TCU.
And the key to that play was he did not pay attention to the man back there telling him to stay in. See, what 33 say, stay in, stay in. But now once he comes out, he has to run with the ball. The fullback back there's responsibility is to tell him to stay in. Now he has to run it once he gets out.
So TCU backed up to its own 5-yard line with 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. Anthony Gully will be in there at quarterback. We got a penalty coming up against West Virginia. This is going to help. Let's see what the call is.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, kicking team, first down.
So 15 yards without having to do anything.
Well, it's very interesting. That's 2 dead ball fouls on West Virginia at this particular point. I'm sure Donnie Naylor kind of wants to know what the Southeastern Conference officials are calling that he hasn't been used to having called all year long.
Anthony Gully at quarterback. And look at that West Virginia defense swarm as they swarm on Davis. And we have run out of time in the first quarter. So at the end of one period here at the 26th annual Bluebonnet Bowl game at the Astrodome in Houston, it's the West Virginia Mountaineers 14, Texas Christian 7. And we'll be back with a second quarter after this message from your local stations. Merle Herman and Ed Biles with you. Second quarter coming on. Bluebonnet Bowl. Bad news for TCU. Kenneth Davis being taken off the field. 6 rushes, 19 yards. Here's a consensus All-America who gained over 1,600 yards and scored 17 touchdowns this year for TCU. And he is out of the ball game now.
Well, let's see if we can pick up what happened on this play, Mary. Quarterback comes down the line of scrimmage. He's going to hand the ball to him on an inside-type play. He's just driving straight ahead. Met in there. Oh, you see he got stood up and straight backward. Oh, that's a difficult situation. Both those linebackers met him in the hole, and they bent him backwards, back over those knees. And that's usually an indication of something that's not real good. We certainly hope so. This young man is just a great football player.
Barry Riddick and Roscoe Tatum are now into the backfield. 3 running backs. Here comes a potential reverse. Let's see what Tatum does with the football. He loses it. West Virginia after it. Ball picked up at the 1-yard line. It'll be down to about the 1-yard line. Van Richardson, number 37, the linebacker, covering the football, a loss of 21, but more than that, West Virginia having just taken the lead, then Davis going out, now the fumble lost, West Virginia can take it in again.
Well, they tried to run a counter-reverse type play. They had 3 backs in there, which is unusual. Now, this is a play that the offense that they hadn't run all year. They had 3 backs in the ball game at the same time. It's a new play for them. Sometimes that's what happens, and what a terrible psychological time for this to happen to him. See him making the fake in there to Riddick and the replacement for Davis. Now, this is Tatum coming back, but they haven't run this type of offense all year. And interesting enough, Coach Wacker, I asked him, I said, well, seeing him practice the 3-back thing, he said, well, everybody tells me you got to put something new in for a bowl game.
The ball spotted about the 2. First down, goal to go, and no on that one. Down to about the 1-foot line. Tackle made by Gerald Taylor on Chris Pecan, the fullback, who is now in number 39. It is second down, goal to go, and you can see how close West Virginia is right now with 14.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Mountaineers leading by 14-7, and Don Nealon got to be feeling pretty good now. Kevin White at quarterback, Pecan 39, the up back. Pecan goes up for the air, going for the touchdown. Did he get it or not? We have no signal yet. Byron Linwood, the strong safety who hits like a linebacker, who is 6'3" and 200 pounds from Pittsburgh, Texas, comes up there to stand him straight up, and he did not make it. It'll be third down and goal to go for the Mountaineers.
Well, what a great psychological play this could be for TCU football team if they could hold in this series after that big turnover.
John Hollifield, number 20, has come in as the tailback now. Chris Pecan goes out at fullback. He is replaced by Ron Wolfley, number 36, the starting fullback. Third down situation.
A little slow getting this play in. They're going to be fighting the clock. There's only 6 seconds left on the clock.
Here it comes, third and goal. Hollifield dives in, touchdown. Scoring for West Virginia.
Well, they held him for 2 downs, but that offensive line just had to move him inches and allow room for that. See the motion, tries to get him moving a little bit. Looking at it, this is the way the linebacker sees it. He just slides back off the inside with a little bit of daylight, and all he had to get was 6 inches. He just got the ball in the end zone. As soon as he crossed that plane, that ball was loose, but the minute he crossed the plane of that goal line, it's a touchdown. He doesn't have to really have control of it as he falls in the end zone.
Paul Woodside for the extra point try. Superick is holding. And Woodside, who is just, well, he's better than perfect, nails the extra point with 13:30 to go. West Virginia leading it by a score of 21-7 over TCU. One more time. And we'll be back right after this message. Wayne Waddy, number 26, and Roscoe Tatum, 33, back for the kickoff from Paul Woodside. The senior from Falls Church, Virginia, All-American with the foot, and bangs it downfield, back into the end zone. It'll be down there and brought out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. Wayne Waddy deciding to leave things alone. And TCU will play it on their own 20 with 13:30 to go. Can you believe 298 yards total offense? And we're barely into the second quarter.
Well, we anticipated that. I certainly hope that Davis could see what report we get on Davis down on the sideline.
All right, let's go down to Dwayne Dow.
All right, Merle. Kenneth Davis came off. He was grabbing his leg. He was in intense pain. The injury is to the inside of the left knee. It does not look good for him to come back anymore today.
Riddick, 34, has replaced Davis in the backfield. Barry is from Ypsilanti, Michigan, a sophomore at TCU. And on the dive, straight ahead goes Riddick out to about the 25. I think they'll mark the ball at about the 24. It'll be second down 6. Brad Hunt, number 70, 267-pound freshman from Ripley, West Virginia, making the tackle.
Well, that's an entire group of freshman defensive linemen. Hunt, Grant, and Moses. All three of them are freshmen starting. You can imagine what they're going to be like in a couple of years. Playing pretty good right now.
That was Riddick's 12th carry this season. Manus goes out wide to the left side. And they go into a slot out there. Manus wide, coming back in motion. Gully rolling, getting a great block and throwing incomplete. Manus had a hitch at about the 38. Gully overthrew him at midfield. Riddick came up with a big block, though, to keep Gully alive. Dave Preston coming and nailed by Riddick and turned upside down.
Well, you can see him on the sideline now. They have put a knee brace on Davis, but the way he's looking, the way he's limping around, I'm not so sure that knee brace is going to be the answer. I'm afraid that whether he was bent over backwards there, Merle, that's usually a tough indication.
Third down 6, TCU. Gully under a rush, being swarmed under by the Mountaineer defense, led by Dale McDonald, 69, and Brad Hunt, number 70. McDonald out of Springfield, Ohio, and Hunt continuing to play so well.
Well, I think what's happening right now is that TCU has to get themselves recovered from the loss of Davis. And they're a little bit untracked, a little bit unsure of themselves. Nothing is going their way. Right now, they need a break. They need for West Virginia to make a mistake, a fumble, a penalty, or something to help get themselves back in the ball game. Here they are. Someone even coming in late on a special teams play. You get a nerve when you lose your star player.
James Gargis to punt it away to Willie Drury, the big play man for West Virginia. Booming punt. And Drury will field it inside his own 30. Good coverage by TCU, but he gets out to the 35, dropped on the 36 by Anthony Egypt, number 12. 12 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the first half of the Astrodome. West Virginia 21, TCU 7. We'll return with more exciting Bluebonnet action right after this message from your local stations. West Virginia in possession at its own 35-yard line. Here come the Mountaineers, led by Kevin White at quarterback, Pecan and Hollifield, the running backs, and that is Mullen in motion. The tailback, Hollifield, tried to cut it back inside, stopped at the 40-yard line by Garland Littles, number 20, the quarterback, and Kevin Dean, number 97, the defensive left end. He is a sophomore out of Newton, Texas, and the gain is 4. It'll be second down 6 for West Virginia. And over on the sideline is Tony Rita, who's doing a little warming up. He opened the season as the opening quarterback. I beg your pardon. Tony Rita, by the way, opened the season as the quarterback for West Virginia. And then it was Kevin White who came on. And you were looking at Scaraffa a moment ago, who was warming up for TCU. And a straight handoff and a dive going to Pecan, and Pecan across the 40 to, let's see, they're going to mark the ball at about the 39, just shy. And we may have a flag drop. Nope, no flag. Now let's go down to Dwayne Dow.
All right, Merle, we're right next to Anthony Scaraffa. He's going to go in to play quarterback for Texas Christian when the Horned Frogs get the ball back. As the Frogs have to start doing something here, they don't want to let this game get any further out of hand.
All right, Dwayne. And Scaraffa has come out of the bullpen several times this year for TCU. This time, Kevin White throwing over the middle. It is complete. Complete to Todd Fisher, number 80. The tight end, he is dropped on the 49-yard line by Byron Linwood after a gain of 12. Linwood getting help from Gary Spann, number 57, the linebacker.
Oh, that Kevin White. Watch him go back and plant and drill this ball. Watch him throw off that front foot. Throws hard against that front. Good velocity on the ball. Fisher, of course, making a good reception, going ahead, enough yardage for the first down. White
is out of Casa Grande, Arizona, just south of Phoenix. A senior. He was not recruited. In fact, his high school coach who had coached in Pennsylvania sent some film back to Don Nealon. And Don took a look at him and said, well, why not? Let's take a look at this kid. He's got a lot of desire. And look at him throw now as he hits number 88. That is Harvey Smith, the wideout, brought down by Sean Thomas, 22 after a gain of 5.
The thing you notice there, though, Merrill, the quarterback, when he got up the line of scrimmage, he put his hand up there, using hand signals to counteract the crowd noise. That was inaudible. To catch his quarterback, if you see him go up and move his hand, look one way or the other, cross his wrist, whatever it might be, you'll see that he is audible into the wide receivers, telling them what pattern to run.
Second down 5. Gary Mullen back in as a flanker. Harvey Smith is out. And Willie Drury in the slot to the left. White looking for Drury. And Willie is out there and is intercepted. It is nailed by number 23, Billy Oliver, his second interception of the year. TCU has the football at its own 10-yard line.
That was just a great play by Billy Oliver. That's the same play that early in the ball game, where they took down, broke the one receiver to the outside, and Drury went down, then ran to the corner. This time, the defensive back Oliver said, "No, you burned me once. I'm going to be alert to this play the second time," and he just drifted back there and made the play. Here you get a good look at it. See him drifting back in there to make that play. Drury trying to run the corner route, and wow, he anticipated that he was going to break up on the first guy. You see Mullins come down, break to the outside. Mullins broke to the outside. Now he comes back off of it, reads it perfectly, keeps his eyes on the ball, good concentration, goes up and comes down with it. They needed that big play, Merle.
Scaraffa now at quarterback, and on Scaraffa's first tried to hand up, Wes Turner, number 91, nailed him before he could make a move at all. There's Billy Oliver.
You know, it's interesting. West Virginia has not played very many veer teams or wishbone teams. The last time they played Oklahoma a few years ago, a couple years ago, and they really shut their offense down. Very difficult for a defensive team to shut an offense down that you don't see much of.
Not only did they take care of Oklahoma defensively, but they scored 41 points against the Sooners after the Sooners had scored in the first 2 possessions. Double wide out to the left, and a pitch going to Riddick, and Riddick being pursued across the field. Larry Holly strung him out all the way to the sideline for a 1-yard loss.
Well, that's the first time that TCU has come out with an unbalanced line. They were unbalanced to the left side of the field. Evidently, West Virginia must have anticipated, because the whole line, they run slant and angle in defenses, and they slanted right to the side the play was going to be run.
Third down 11 coming up for TCU. Gary Ford, 96, coming in as a tight end. Keith Burnett, number 84, coming in. Dan Sharp is out. Now Manus comes into the slot to the right. Burnett is wide to the right. Let's see what Scaraffa can do. Third down, 12. Scaraffa can do some running, maybe. Breaks a tackle, gets to the 20, out to the 21. First down, TCU. Larry Holly, the free safety, making the tackle is Scaraffa. The senior from San Antonio's Clark High School picks up the first down on a 13-yard pickup.
Boy, this is just a great play by Scaraffa. He comes down the line of scrimmage on the option. Now he's looking downfield, wants to throw the ball. There's nobody open. All of a sudden he recognizes it. Watch him look for this. He knows where those markers are. Makes a nice move to get inside. Dives forward. Seems to make that extra effort to get to that first down. Great effort by Scaraffa there.
TCU trailing 21-7, 8:32 to go in the first half. Riddick 34, Jeffrey 27 of the running back split.
There's the unbalance, Merrill.
And Scaraffa flips it out to Riddick, hit behind the line by Larry Holly, the free safety. A loss of 3.
Well, they've run that unbalanced line 10 to 15% of the time during the regular season, and it appears thus far that West Virginia has done a good job of taking away their favorite plays out of that unbalanced line.
Second down, 12 on the 19-yard line. 8 minutes to go in the first half of the Astrodome. Merle Herman, along with Ed Biles, Dwayne Dow, Steve Grant, all with you. Manus and Burnett split wide to the left side, going into the slot for TCU, and Burnett back in motion to the right. Scaraffa, second down, long, and it is Riddick, and he is really nailed at the 20-yard line by Derek Christian, number 49, the strong inside linebacker from St. Albans, West Virginia, a 2-year Letterman Jr.
Well, he has that option when he comes down the line of scrimmage, either give the ball to that back going in or taking it away, and he's reading the defensive lineman, and they're closing down, and West Virginia's young defensive line playing excellent right now.
Third down, 11. 7:16 to go in the first half. TCU down by 2 touchdowns. Scaraffa, little play action. Scaraffa throwing, and it is almost intercepted. It was intended for number 27, Tony Jeffrey, coming out of the backfield. And Stacy Smith had the coverage and almost picked it off. That's Smith, number 4, from Akron, Ohio, a freshman. James Gargis will come on to punt. So the West Virginia Mountaineers should get this ball in pretty good field position. A booming punt, though, by Gargis, driving Willie Drury all the way back to his 21. Look at Willie and his moves out across the 35 to about the 37. And a boot of 58 yards. We've got 6:51 to go in the first half as West Virginia will take over the football and the offense, leading it 21-7, and we'll return right after this. Quarterbacking the Mountaineers of West Virginia, and he puts the team in action at its 36-yard line. Now an audible to the wideouts, and let's see what's coming up for West Virginia. White comes back to the near side. Incomplete. He was looking for Willie Drury, and Drury was well covered by Billy Oliver, number 23. Let's go down to Steve Grad.
Talk about loyalty. These people drove 1,200 miles to get here. Tell me about the trip. Anything exciting?
No, it was pretty boring in Arkansas, and I slept most of the way through there. But it was just good to get down here in the warm weather of Texas, and we'll be back to West Virginia in a couple days or until the money runs out.
Why are you such fans?
You gotta love the years. I mean, they're great.
Kevin White, 8 out of 11, 171 yards. Now he's looking and being chased by Trammell, but he gets it away to Drury. Let's watch Willie run. Willie Drury, the big play man, brought down by Billy Oliver, and Drury is taking over this football game.
Boy, is he exciting. He reminds me very much of Billy White Shoes Johnson, who played with Houston. Watch you come out. Now, Drury is sliding back across the seam, sneaking underneath there, coming across. All by himself, got lost in the shuffle in there. They lost him in the man-to-man coverage, and he can turn it on. He's got excellent speed, exciting, great punt returner. Billy White Shoes Johnson looks very much like Willie Drury. Look at Drury run there.
37-yard pickup on the play. A 93-yard touchdown run against Syracuse on a kickoff return this year. 74 yards against Pitt. He is a big play man. Play action beautifully by White. Throwing. And it is caught by Wolfley coming out of the backfield. He is down inside the 5 of the 3-yard line. Brought down by Billy Jones. It'll be first and goal to go, and a 22-yard pickup there. And West Virginia will have the ball at the TCU 5.
Well, TCU's playing an awful lot of man coverage. When you're in man coverage, you're going to get a lot of isolations with backs against mismatches, and they stuck Wolfley out of the backfield there. You saw the linebacker. Spann was should have tried to cover it, tried to run with him. Very difficult coverage for a linebacker.
Kevin White, 6 touchdown passes coming into this game, 2 already. He's got the ball to the 5-yard line of TCU. White fakes the inside handoff, throws. He's got another touchdown to Wolfley.
West Virginia offense is just doing a lot of things with the passing game. Really a lot of pro ideas in this. You see the motion play. Watch him fake in here. See him fake the counter play. Now is he coming across in here now? He just lobs it out there. Wolfley sliding out into the flat. They're crossing people, crossing backs, making that back come from the far side. Now the linebackers come all the way across to make this coverage. Very difficult coverage from TCU standpoint. You see him chasing them. You see him pointing them out. Man for man. They're doing a lot of crossing in that backfield. It makes it tough for the defensive people.
Wolfley scoring on his 2nd touchdown reception of the night. The extra point try. Woodside bangs it away, and it is good. And the senior from Falls Church, West Virginia, or Virginia rather, keeps his record intact. He's got a great string of extra points. Here's the touchdown again to Wolfley.
Wolfley just wide open and takes it, walks it in the end zone.
63-yard drive, 4 plays. West Virginia leading 28-7. We'll be back after this message from your local station. Paul Woodside to kick off for West Virginia. Wayne Waddy and Roscoe Tatum are back deep. It is going to be Tatum at the goal line, and I believe he came out. He did. And Tatum gets out to the 10. Waddy was trying to hold him, but I believe his right foot was across the goal line.
He sure did. He took that one step, just one step too much, and came across her, and you have to bring it out. TCU really has to settle down now, Merrill. They're just kind of shook up. The loss of Davis has hurt them. They're a little bit shook up right now. They've got to settle down. kind of a key possession for him. Again, you see another replay of the touchdown pass with a slight rollout with the back going out in the flats. Wide open, very difficult coverage.
Scaraffa, 1st and 10 on the TCU 10. Scaraffa looking to throw and does. It is caught by Sharp. A fine reception at the 25. Stacy Smith making the tackle on the play. 1st down TCU. Let's go down to Dwayne Dow.
Well, Merle, Kenneth Davis was in tears when they tried to get his left leg going. They completely wrapped it under the leg. There appears to be a problem with the fibula bone below the left knee. But they wheel him off into the dressing quarters for TCU, so it doesn't look good for Kenneth Davis to come back anymore tonight.
So a big loss for TCU. 1st and 10 for the Horned Frogs. Scaraffa handing off on a dive to Tony Jeffrey, number 27, the freshman from Gladewater, Texas. And he doesn't get a whole lot. 840 yards for the year in rushing. Pretty good tandem of Jeffrey and Davis, but now TCU missing the running and the excitement of Kenneth Davis. So they got to make with what they've got.
Well, TCU stunned. Their crowd is stunned. It's a very key drive for TCU. If they can settle down, move the ball down the field, and put some points on it, they can get themselves back into the ball game.
2nd down. Scaraffa breaking a tackle, trying to get to the near side, and gets to the 36, where he is nailed hard by number 50, Matt Smith, the strong inside linebacker from Gahanna, Ohio.
Well, the defensive line of West Virginia, again, putting a lot of pressure on him and forcing him out of that pocket. He wanted to throw the ball off the play action, makes a nice move there. But the key, again, is that West Virginia's defensive line is controlling that line of scrimmage. They're starting deep in their own territory. They haven't had many times where they started upfield at all.
West Virginia's last touchdown drive, as you see, covered 63 yards in 59 seconds. And the TCU drives as in their possessions. How about this? From their 14, 23, 20, 20, 10, and 10. Scaraffa to throw. Airs it out, incomplete. And completely overthrew Dan Sharp, who had double coverage, and he just might have thrown the ball away.
Well, he may have thrown away. There was 4 people around the receiver that he was trying to throw the ball to. So for his standpoint, I was hoping you can see there, he threw his hands out. There was nobody open. They had that play well diagnosed and well covered.
4 minutes, 12 seconds. Look at Joswiak, number 77. Nice haircut there, Brian.
How about those haircuts, huh?
Love it. And that's Jack Kessler.
Don't worry, Mother. John Riggins was that way years ago, too.
Kessler, and he's about 290 pounds. Joswiak about 290, 295. Scaraffa going nowhere as he carried the ball. Brian Dick, 86, the left tackle. Good future for that sophomore from Philadelphia, West Virginia. Joswiak, an outstanding prospect. He went up against TCU's Steve Page in a jalapeno eating contest here a couple of days ago, and he's still burning from that. Manus, the wide out to the left, and incomplete on that pass to Riddick. As a good rush by West Virginia with Fred Smalls, number 30, the left outside linebacker, coming on a blitz, and it's 4th down, and TCU will have to punt it away.
West Virginia's defensive line and linebackers are completely dominated the TCU offense. TCU offensive coach has got to get that group together and say, hey, we can get off the line of scrimmage. We're a better offensive football team than we know we can move the ball. We finished 4th in the nation in total offense, not by playing the way we're playing right now.
Gargis to punt it away. James drives this one, a line drive shot down the field to Willie Drury. Drury taking the ball at his own 10. Here he comes again. This time brought down at about the 20. Chuck Dickinson made the tackle, a 52-yard punt by James Gargis and a 10-yard return by Willie Drury. No doubt about it, Drury has been the dominant player in this ball game so far, and there's Jim Wacker on the sideline trying to get his troops together again. 3 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the first half. West Virginia leading at 28-7 in the 26th Bluebonnet Bowl.
Well, the thing that he's doing down there right now, he's trying to get his team to recognize the fact that we've got to regroup. We have to start playing a lot better than we've been playing. Got his quarterbacks together. Wants to talk things over with them a little bit, what they're seeing, what they might be anticipating, so they can get something accomplished when they get the ball again.
TCU showing blitz here. They back off the handoff on a dive right up the middle with Wolfley carrying Turner. Darren Turner making the tackle, the right tackle, number 93. Kevin White has done an outstanding job in this football game tonight. Coming into the Bluebonnet Bowl for the year, he had passed for 1,447 yards, hitting 56% of his throws, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And tonight, he has been red hot with a touchdown pass. Wolfley and Gay are the running backs. And this is Gay, and Gay has a first down with plenty to spare across the 35 to the 38, and Billy Jones, the free safety, has to come up to make the tackle. A 14-yard pickup by John Gay from Monroeville, Pennsylvania, transfer out of the University of Kentucky.
Good job by the offensive lineman. There were 2 people that were down. There no one touched him. He comes through that hole. Just a Mack truck. You're right. They ran the ball up through there. That time Maryland made that kind of yardage. Offensive line really controlling the line of scrimmage. Joliffe and D. Jarnett doing a great job.
At the 38, first down, West Virginia. White, here comes the reverse, and it's going to Mullen, coming back to the near side. Mullen at the 40, Mullen at the 45. Mullen forced out of bounds at about the 48, maybe the 49-yard line. A gain of about 10, and Billy Oliver, the cornerback from Sacramento, California, number 23, chases him out of bounds.
Well, that's an exciting wide-open football that Don told us he was going to do. Coach Nalen told us he was going to be wide open. He was going to come in there to have fun. They've got some other gimmicks off of that play. Or maybe sometime later in the ball game, see that Mullen turn around, throw that ball back to the quarterback off that same type action.
10 yards and a first down. Wayne Brown has come in for Willie Drury as the wide out on the left side. Mullen on the right side. Now Todd Fisher, the tight end, lines up right. And the handoff goes to Gay, who bangs his way to the midfield stripe and is knocked off his feet by Kevin Dean, number 97, the defensive left end. Who's a 230-pounder out of Newton, Texas.
That time TCU changed their defensive thinking. They had a blitz on. They really took the gaps, and they said, hey, we better get a little bit more aggressive defensive and go after some of these passes and some of these wide-open things they've been trying to accomplish.
2 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the first half. Mullen is out. Harvey Smith is in as a wide receiver now for West Virginia. And Smith comes to the left side, and Wayne Brown goes to the right side. Wolfley and Gay are the running backs. Kevin White zips that ball. It is incomplete, intended for Todd Fisher, the tight end, and Gary Spann, who had the coverage on him, really nailed him, and he couldn't hold on to the football. Now we're down to 1 minute 46 seconds to go in the first half. Each team with 3 timeouts. West Virginia leading at 28-7.
And they came again with the blitz that time. He just didn't have the protection. He had to deliver that ball much faster. That's one way you can rattle the team with that pressure on that quarterback.
Willie Drury comes back in as a wideout now. So Drury and Wayne Brown, who have tremendous speed, both of them. Drury is going to line up on the wing to the left. Now he goes in motion to the right side on 3rd down 9. Kevin White back over the middle. It is complete to the tight end, Todd Fisher, number 80. And he is brought down in the 44 of TCU by Gary Spann, number 57, and Tom Sharp, 42, who is now in the defensive secondary, a gain of 6.
And what West Virginia is doing there now, they had the 3 wide receivers in the ball game at the same time, trying to force mismatches with TCU in that man coverage. They put that one man in motion. Clock is running. They're going to probably maybe take as much time as they might even take a penalty here and let it run all the way down before they put this punt in the air to use up the get the clock underneath 1 minute.
It is 4th down 3. Steve Soupy back to do the punting, and Byron Linwood, and they go with a little surprise, and Wolfley may be able to break it. He is finally pulled down from behind by Linwood. Well, you talk about wide open football. West Virginia decides, wait a minute, we got a 28-7 lead. We got 52 seconds to go in the first half, and Wolfley carries it for 24 yards and a first down.
Just a great call. They were in a great position to make the play. Kind of a safe, unexpected type play. You know, if you don't make it, you know that they still have a long way to go with less time to go into play. They just snapped the ball to the up back then. They snapped it to the up back, and he ran it with some good blocking. Here's the shot of it. You see it go to the fullback like an old single wing type play. They kick out of the outside. But a missed tackle. If they make the tackle, they don't make this big game.
First down on the 22. Kevin White coming into the near side. It is caught by number 1, Gary Mullen, the flanker from Clareton, Pennsylvania, and Billy Oliver, the cornerback, had the coverage on the play, got him after an 8-yard pickup, and the clock shows 24 seconds to go in the first half, and West Virginia trying to put some more points on the board.
And there's a penalty on the play, and that's usually in the vicinity where holding it would be called, Merle.
And that is the call, holding against West Virginia. So the Mountaineers, who have come to Houston to show their wares, my goodness, they've shown us about everything you can possibly come up with in an offensive arsenal.
Well, they really have. It's been a great, exciting, wide-open offensive game, and the only way they've been stopped, they stopped themselves. The first time they had the ball, they scored a touchdown. Second time, they had that penalty, which started with 1st and 25. Touchdown the next time. Touchdown the next time. Threw an interception, and now they're coming up with this penalty. So they really, TCU's defense has not stopped West Virginia.
Both these teams in the national rankings earlier this year. Let's get the call.
Illegal use of hands. Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
So it's a first down and 15 for West Virginia. West Virginia, 333 yards total offense.
They still have their 3 timeouts left, Merle. They've got plenty of time here now. 24 seconds. They can get a lot of plays off if they throw passes or if they're completed and they use their timeouts.
You know, West Virginia had a couple of very disappointing ball games. For instance, upset by Maryland 20-17 on a field goal with 21 seconds left. And then Temple won by a score of 19-17. Actually, after the clock had run out, we'll tell you more about that in a moment. Kevin White, here comes the reverse, maybe. Mullen almost trapped. Now he's going to throw the football, and it is caught at the 4-yard line. Was he in bounds? Yes, Drury. Sean Thomas and Willie Drury fighting for the football. A 23-yard pickup, 1st and goal to go at the 5-yard line and 16 seconds to play.
Well, you couldn't want any more excitement than this. Watch him fake the running play here. Makes a little handoff reverse to Mullen coming around. Look him make a good move. Now he stops and throws his ability to throw the ball. It's a pretty good pass for a receiver throwing the ball down there. And look at Drury go up and catch that play. What football player this Drury is.
Drury, a senior from Columbus, New Jersey, and the pro scouts are going to be drooling over him. 1st and goal. White rolling left, looking, throwing. Ball batted down by number 82, Paul Jones, the senior out of East Hills High School in Fort Worth, Texas, and there he is. Drury, 5 receptions, 130 yards in the first half.
Well, it wouldn't be a bit surprising. TCU has to do some blitzing on this play. These 2nd and 3rd down here, they're really going to have to come with a blitz to try to not allow West Virginia to get another touchdown at this stage right before the half.
Jones and Sharp are in the secondary, so Sharp is the nickel back. He's number 42. Here come the Mountaineers on 2nd and goal. 11 seconds to go in the first half. Wolfley and Gay are the running backs. Alley-oop incomplete. Drury covered by Sean Thomas, 22, the All-America cornerback. And so West Virginia, with 7 seconds left on the clock, brings on the field goal unit. And Paul Woodside, the great All-America from Falls Church, Virginia, who has kicked 14 out of 20 field goals this year and is the leading scorer in West Virginia history, is warming up the leg. Woodside, in 1982, hit 28 out of 31 field goals for an NCAA record for accuracy. This will be a 21-yard effort, and it is good. Woodside puts 3 on the board for West Virginia. So with 4 seconds left to play in the first half, it is West Virginia 31, TCU 7. Tatum are deep for TCU for Paul Woodside's kickoff. TCU stunned with 31 points on the board for West Virginia. Woodside bangs it downfield. This time Tatum will not bring the ball out. It'll come to the 20-yard line. 4 seconds left to play in the first half. TCU, the big play team, kind of difficult to come up with a big play when you're down 31-7.
Well, it's difficult because the biggest thing that's happened to them, of course, is when they lost Kenneth Davis. He's their big play man. Everything revolves around him, and they really haven't had a chance to regroup. 4 seconds, you can't anticipate or expect much to help. But they'll get inside at halftime. Coach Wacker will get them settled down, say, hey, we got to get back playing our kind of football to get back in the ballgame.
Scaraffa, the quarterback, and the handoff goes to Tony Jeffrey, and Jeffrey on the dive tackle goes for about 3 or 4 in the first half, comes to an end. So the West Virginia Mountaineers, who have come to the Astro-Dome for the Bluebonnet Bowl with a record of 7-4 against TCU's 8-3 mark, leaves the field with a 31-7 lead. And loss of Kenneth Davis to TCU.
Well, they had 123 yards in that first quarter. The entire second quarter, they only made 27 yards of offense after Davis went down. He's their big play guy, the guy they rely on. Now, they've had a chance at halftime to go in and talk things over, have a little prayer meeting, so to speak, get themselves regrouped. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to their basics of running that veer, throwing the quick little slant passes to the outside receiver, hitting the tight end on a pop pass, and controlling the ball a little bit more.
Ball Woodside kicks off for West Virginia, and this one is going to come up short, and it will be returned by number 12, Egypt Allen. And Allen gets out to about the 25-yard line, where TCU will take over 1st and 10 at that point. Let's go down to Steve Grad for an injury report. Steve?
West Virginia's defense has been hampered because Wes Turner, a starting defensive end, will not be back for the second half. He has a sprained right knee. With a score of 31-7, they don't want to take any chances, so West Virginia without Wes Turner, the defensive end.
Anthony Gully, who opened the game at quarterback for TCU, is back to run the offense again. Barry Riddick has replaced Kenneth Davis at the running back spot. Davis having gone out with the injury, and Gully looking to throw on first down here in the third quarter. Angles it for James Maness, and Maness comes up. Spectacular catch on the second effort. Andrew Jones, a weak cornerback, almost had it broken up, but Maness comes down with a 30-yard touchdown reception.
That's just great concentration by Maness. The ball is almost intercepted. Now watch Maness' concentration. The ball is tipped there. He stays with it, see his eyes on the ball, turn, adjust his body, reach out with his right hand and pull it in. Great concentration by Maness. On the route now, they're covered. They're sitting back there in zone coverage, so he doesn't get really behind the defensive back. You see him coming on the ball there. You see him moving in, jumping, hiding the ball, and of course
to the live action, and Gully goes nowhere as he is Dan Richardson. You know, we're talking about Maness, so let's go back to him for just a moment. That was 100th career touchdown pass reception, and for the year, 4 touchdown receptions, and he is the big pull to the pass.
What a great adjustment he makes there. Just see him turn out and reach around with that right hand and grab the ball. That's what a great receiver. He's averaging 21 yards per catch. That's why he made third team Associated Press All-American.
Second down, 12. Anthony Gully at quarterback for TCU. Maness coming back in motion to the right side. He flips back to his tailback, Jeffrey, and Jeffrey gets back to the line of scrimmage just barely as Fred Smalls, number 30, boom, along with David Grant, number 98, the middle guard, the freshman from Belleville, New Jersey, making the tackle. Third down, 12.
Those defensive linebackers for West Virginia are doing an excellent job of shuffling down the line of scrimmage and reading what the quarterback is doing, keeping himself under control so that when he makes the pitch, he's still got enough speed to get out there.
Paul Woodside, the All-America kicker, getting attention on the sideline as Maness splits out wide to the left side. Patrick Bradford, 32, is now into the backfield for TCU. Under rush, and he play brought down the 48 by Fred Smalls, who comes up with another big play.
Old Boom Boom, he's got a couple sacks this year, a couple interceptions. They came with a blitz. Their defensive backs crept up the line of scrimmage. You could see the blitz coming all the way. They just didn't have enough people to pick up all the people that were rushing.
Aaron Dick came in to help out also. Loss of 5. Drury is going back deep. He's the all-purpose player for West Virginia, back to his own 10-yard line. And the punting unit is on as James Gargis boots it away for TCU at a beauty. Hangs it high, and the ball is going to go back into the end zone. It'll be brought out to the 20, and that's where West Virginia will put it in play after a 51-yard punt. James Gargis. You know, TCU has outscored its opponents 90-37 in the third quarter, and I'm sure that this year, and I'm sure Jim Wacker was hoping that he could score on that possession, but that's not the case, and we'll be back with more action right after this. At the line of scrimmage, the 20-yard line, West Virginia leading 31-7, third quarter, Bluebonnet. And right up the middle comes John Hollifield, diving out to the 24, brought down by Gerald Taylor, 37, the left linebacker from Dallas South Oak Cliff High School. Kevin White has had an outstanding night. Look at those numbers that this senior from Casa Grande, Arizona has put together. Don't you know Don Nealon is pleased with his team bouncing back after 3 losses at the end of the season. They were crippled. They had 4 regulars lost with injuries, but everybody is back now but Ernie Anderson. And another running play. This time it's Hollifield getting the call. Not too much. He is brought down by Byron Linwood after a yard or so as Jim Wacker, the TCU coach, getting his licks in on the sideline, trying to encourage his team to hold West Virginia. That TCU offense going. Last play, 3rd down 3.
Well, Jim recognizes that they're really going through an emotional situation right now. It's probably since he's been coaching there, maybe the farthest they've ever been behind at halftime. Losing Davis, he knows they need some emotion.
That's Willie Drury, who's been the big play man for West Virginia. Wolfley and Hollifield to the running backs. That pass completed to number 84, Rob Bennett, the tight end. He's got a first down for West Virginia near the 33 on a 5-yard pickup. All right, I like that. Hairstyling there. Oh, that's not hairstyling.
That's not hairstyling. That's a coon. That's what they call a coonskin hat out in the West Virginia mountain area. If people don't know what a coon looks like.
I just couldn't resist that one.
White drilled that pass in there, Merle. That was a great pass. There were 2 people with good coverage. He laid that ball in there with excellent accuracy.
Smith is split wide to the left side for West Virginia, and West Virginia stays with Hollifield on the run, picking his way across the 35, dropped at about the 36 by Byron Linwood after a gain of 3, and help from Tom Sharp coming up from the secondary. He's the free safety. It'll be 2nd down, and they mark the ball across the 35. It'll be 2nd down at about 7.
I wonder if Gay's got himself a little bit of injury. They're using Hollifield an awful lot in the ball game, whereas Gay had been listed as, the starter and the guy that they like to go to.
West Virginia now has rolled for 371 yards in total offense. Mullen splits out wide to the right side. And on the left side is Drury, as Kevin White wants to go airborne and does, and is almost intercepted. Sean Thomas just about had his 9th interception of the year as he stepped in front of the intended receiver, Gary Mullen, but Thomas couldn't quite come up with the ball.
Sean Thomas is a good defensive back, and that type of play would have really helped TCU. Now, they need a play like that to give them a lift. An interception, a big play, a good return on it. Thomas, outstanding. 2nd team UPI All-American. Had 8 interceptions during the regular season.
Wayne Brown, number 19, has come in. He'll go into the slot right with Mullen White out to the right. On 3rd down, TCU showing blitz and play action with White throwing, going for it all. And it is incomplete. Billy Jones had the coverage on Wayne Brown, the intended receiver. In fact, there were 3 defensive backs back there. And Billy Jones out of Baytown, Texas, made a fine defensive play. And White, who has been outstanding throughout the game, not able to pick up the first down, and it is 4th down and a punting situation for West Virginia.
Well, it looks like TCU defense got themselves straightened out a little bit. That first half, West Virginia hit the ball 7 times with 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Now they stopped them on their first possession in the second half.
And Superick is into punt. He has 1 for 53 yards in the ball game. Let's see what he can do with this one. Steve drives this one downfield. We're just taking about Wayne Waddy. And Waddy goes down almost at the 30-yard line, not quite the 30. That's where they'll put the ball in play. Tackle made by Ed Hill, and it'll be 1st down for TCU. TCU trailing 31-7 with 10 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter at the Astrodome at the Bluebonnet Bowl. And we'll be back after this message from your local station. Our colleagues Dwayne Dow and Steve Grad on the sidelines for reports. TCU's ball, 1st down, TCU 30. And Anthony Gully calling signals, and 3 flags go down as everybody was on the move. You know, one of the things that West Virginia not only has had an outstanding offensive show in this ball game, but the defense has held TCU's running game to 71 yards in the first half, and TCU had averaged 284 yards per ball game in rushing, and that's an illegal procedure call against TCU in a 1st and 15 coming up. But 284 yards per game, 5th in the nation in rushing offense. 463 yards total offense. Here comes Gully on the option. Gully on the pitch to Tony Jeffrey, the tailback, and Jeffrey is chased out of bounds after about a 3-yard gain. Not much more than that. So the freshman from Gladewater can get very little on the near side. Let's go to Steve Grad.
I'll tell you what, this is a large contingent of Mountaineer fans. How did some of these people get here?
It was a special drawing from Channel 23. There was 6 winners.
And they won the trip to the Bluebonnet.
They won the trip to the Bluebonnet, yes.
What a great way to ring in the new year. These are loyal fans.
Great day, great
Keith Burnett split wide left side. Thank you, Steve. And here is Gully. Looks like it might have been a broken play. Now he's going to get what he can after it, out of it, and he fires away. And that ball is almost caught by Dan Sharp. I don't know if he was even in bounds or not. Stacy Smith, number 4, had the coverage on the play, but it'll go incomplete.
Well, we're really seeing some great concentration by receivers in this ball game on both teams. Sharp really concentrates on this ball now. Now he's just scrambling around looking for somebody to get open. He's trying to get him going downfield. Now as he throws it down, watch the concentration on Sharp. He's out of bounds. He comes back in. Look at that complete concentration, and he almost came up with catching the ball. All these receivers doing an excellent job on that this evening.
3rd down, 11. Manus puts out wide to the left side. Let's see what West Virginia does on the defense here. Here they come. Blitz is on, and Gully trying to get out of the trap. Dives down at about the 34-yard line, getting about 4, maybe 5 yards, and it'll leave 4th down. Derek Christians, number 49, and Fred Smalls, linebackers, coming after him.
You know, talking with Donnie Neal, and he was really concerned about TCU's team speed. But so far this evening, it looks like West Virginia's team speed is what is controlling the ball game. He was concerned that they couldn't match up speed-wise, but looks like to me like maybe he was underestimating some of his players.
James Gargas kicks it away to Willie Drury. Drury, an exciting return man. Let's see what he can do. Well, he makes 5 yards out of almost nothing, getting out to the 30-yard line, and West Virginia will take over at that point. Kick of 36 yards by Gargas, and 9:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. West Virginia leading at 31-7 as the offense comes on again. So West Virginia coming back strong after dropping its final 3 games of the year, losing to Temple. We mentioned that in the first half. How would you got a 2-point lead with 1 play left in the game. Temple kicks a field goal. You're offside. They get another shot at it from 5 yards closer and kick it with no time left, and West Virginia loses. White handing off to Pecan, and Pecan goes out to the 35 where it'll be 2nd and 5. Tom Sharp stopping the play.
Well, everybody was concerned about West Virginia losing those last 3 ball games, but the thing that they overlooked was the fact that they had a tremendous amount of injuries. They were banged up. Their defensive line, they were playing without 4 of those people, and it's difficult to play teams when you're not at full strength. They got a chance to get back healthy, and the defense is showing the way they played against Penn State in those ball games that they won earlier in the year.
Pecan and Gay are now the running backs. Gay's the tailback on 2nd down. And it's Gay on the call, and he goes up the middle for a 1st down across the 40 and fumbles a football, and let's see who's got it.
I believe the official ruled that he was down. They were on top of the play. I believe they ruled he was down. I don't think it's going to be a fumble, Merle.
Sharp was after the football. Gay got 7 coming up the middle, and we'll take another look at it.
Okay, we're going to get a good look at him and see whether it's just a simple handoff for the lead blocker going in front of him. You see him got both hands over the ball. Now he gets hit right here, and as he goes down, he still has the ball under his control as he goes. Now when he hits, see the ground or the AstroTurf in this case can't cause a fumble. Good call by the official.
At the 43, 1st down, West Virginia. The Mountaineers controlling the game, 31-7. Kevin White goes high for Mullen. Mullen is out there. He's got it, but he was out of bounds. No catch. Mullen out of bounds, and Oliver had the coverage on the play.
Oh, that was a good call by the official. Mullins again just using his speed. He really puts it up in the air, lets Mullins run underneath him. But we'll see as we get down the sideline here that Mullins carrying himself over the out of bounds there. Watch him, he's out of bounds right there. That left foot is on the out of bounds as he catches the ball.
Let's go down to Dwayne Dow.
Well, Merle, the TCU fans want equal time, right?
I'll tell you what, I did battle some humongous waves out there, Skip, and I'll tell you, we may be down, but we're not out. We're going to kick some West Virginia ass.
Okay, there you go, the TCU fans.
A good old Texas expression. 2nd down and 10. That ball is flipped up into the air, almost grabbed off by L.B. Washington, I believe it was, who made a dive for the ball, and Paul Jones is going after it also. But the ball was batted up in the air, incomplete pass. Washington, I think, got the hand on the ball, and then Paul Jones went after it.
Defensive line doing a little better job so far in the 2nd half. They're getting some pressure, trying to get in there and getting those hands up. Makes it a little bit tougher for White to throw those short type passes.
3rd down 10 for the Mountaineers. They're 5 out of 9 in 3rd down situations in this ball game. They took the opening kickoff and marched 80 yards for a touchdown as Wolfley caught his a 2-yard touchdown pass from Kevin White, his first of 3 touchdown passes tonight. Then TCU came right back to tie it. Let's look at Drury, who is wide to the left side, 3rd down 10. And the blitz is on, and down goes the quarterback, Kevin White, all over him. Byron Linwood. Linwood coming in the blitz, and Linwood may have come up with a football besides. TCU, big play defensively. Byron Linwood on a safety blitz.
Well, TCU has been the big play. Now you see they're trying to occupy, but here he's coming from the outside. There's the tackle. Now watch the scramble for the football. Now all of them trying to get after it. Finally, Linwood comes up with it. He made the sack. What a play by Brian Linwood. He made the sack, made the tackle, and all of a sudden he's going to come up with it underneath that pile.
And Tom Sharp, 42, may get the call there for covering that fumble. We've got a timeout as TCU takes over, and we'll be back right after these messages. Horned Frogs, who had not suffered a major injury all year, have now had 2 of them in this game. First of all, Kenneth Davis going down back early in the game. And now the fine defensive end, Kevin Dean, number 97, the sophomore out of Newton, Texas, going down, and he is being removed from the field. That last play was a loss of 22 yards and a turnover to TCU.
Let's see if we get a shot at Dean. There he is coming in at the top of the pile. They're going down in and seeing. Looks like he's trying to go in to get the ball. Now someone will probably, 39, landed across the back of his legs, going across for the ball. You see him down in there, and you see him get landed on the back of his knees.
This is TCU's deepest penetration against West Virginia since their touchdown drive way back in the first quarter. So the defense did it for them.
Well, the defense, of course, stopped West Virginia the first time they had the ball this half. Now they got the big turnover here. If the offense could put points on the board, we might see a very interesting second half.
Well, the Bluebonnet Bowl has had a way of providing some wild 3rd and 4th quarters. Even though TCU down big now, 31-7, they've got the ball at the West Virginia 21-yard line, and this is a must-score situation, and I don't mean 3.
Right, they've got to go. They have to go for the 7.
Jeffrey and Bradford are the running backs for TCU as Gully pitches as he is hit. Jeffrey comes up with the ball. Jeffrey at the 20, at the 15, driving inside the 15 to about the 13. Van Richardson, number 37. Matt Smith, number 50. The inside linebackers make the tackle. A gain of 8.
Okay, now see him running out. Now watch Curtis here. He's going to blitz. Now that's a safety blitz coming up through there. He can't get through, so he doesn't get through clean to make the play on the foot. Now when you get out there, the back is going to be isolated one-on-one with Larry Holly. Now when he does that, he takes a move and takes a fake. That's what made that play possible. Got that back one-on-one with Holly. 2nd down, a yard to go. A gain of 9 officially. Gully fumbles a football. He's on top of it, and he recovered it. It'll now be 3rd down and about 3 as Gully loses a pair on that one. We have 6 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. West Virginia's Mountaineers leading the Horned Frogs of TCU 31-7. You know, talking about losses at the end of the year, and West Virginia had a couple of very disappointing ball games near the end of the year. Texas and Texas A&M whacked TCU at the end of the year. Gully on the option. Gully fighting for the 1st down. Gets crunched at about the 12, and I don't believe he made it. Scott Dixon, number 59, and Van Richardson, the outside and weak inside linebackers, coming up to make the hit. So now TCU is faced with a 4th down and a long one. Anthony Gully quarterbacking here in the 2nd half. You know, they had great success throughout the course of the year with a little pop pass to Dan Sharp. They fake that veer, raise up and give the ball to Sharp. They haven't used that pass at all this evening. I really think it'd be a great time to make that call.
Manus is in. Gary Ford in as the tight end. Manus splitting wide to the right side. Gully 4th down and 1. Gully is going to go for the 1st down. He's got 1st and goal at about the 9-yard line. Travis Curtis, number 5, the strong safety, wrestled him down. A gain of 3, and that was enough for the 1st down with a yard or so to spare.
And that was a big 1st down for the TCU football team. They really need to get a touchdown on this possession to give themselves a lift. It'll give their defense a lift, and they may fight their way back in.
Gully is the better running quarterback of the 2, meaning Anthony Scaraffa, number 10, who alternates with Gully. Gully carried for 314 yards and 5 touchdowns this year going into this game. First down and goal, TCU. Here comes the blitz, and Gully hands the ball off to Riddick, and Riddick is thrown all the way back to the 22-yard line. Travis Curtis came with a safety blitz hurdling the line of scrimmage, and the loss is 11 yards as Smalls and Curtis come up with the play.
Watch this. This is what the quarterback. Look at him running there. Now watch him have that timed up and jump over the top of everybody. Amazing. It was just an amazing way he had that timed up. Now he really didn't force it all until later. The play was forced to the outside here, but Curtis, he had that snap count timed up perfectly.
Second down and goal from the 20. Slot to the left for TCU. Gully, the option. Gully looking. Gully finally throwing, and it is caught for a touchdown. Keith Burnett, number 84. A 20-yard touchdown play.
Well, he's going to be very close, I think, as he goes back here. And he comes down and fakes the option. Now he's going to cut. Looks like he's going to run. Now he comes back, looking downfield, very close to the line of scrimmage. Throws that ball. Now, good concentration for Burnett to go up and catch that ball. That's a fine catch by the sophomore out of Houston Yates High School.
And that's his first touchdown of the year. And the extra point is added, and TCU is on the scoreboard here in the third quarter. With 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the third period, West Virginia 31, TCU 14. We'll be back with more exciting Bluebonnet Bowl action right after this. Nice to have Ms. Lou here tonight. Okay, it's TCU to kick off, and the kick will be across the field to the corner, and Willie Drury is back to take it in the end zone. He will down it there. They kick across the field to cut down the size of the field for a man like Drury. Let's go back to the touchdown pass.
Well, again, just great concentration by Burnett to go up and catch that ball over his shoulders and bring it down in the end zone. A much-needed touchdown from TCU's standpoint. Now we get in a position that this series, TCU defensively very important. They don't allow West Virginia to get any points out of it. West Virginia needs to get back to their big play, wide-open attack that got them the points.
Here come the Mountaineers. Mullen is split wide to the left side, Drury to the right side. The tailback, Hollifield getting the call, and Hollifield out across the 30 to the 35, first down. Byron Linwood, the strong safety, has to make the tackle for TCU, a gain of 13. That's the last thing in the world TCU wanted to give up there. It was a big play on the first down.
Well, the interesting thing about this one is watch him use his blockers here. Watch him follow his blockers, keeps himself running under control. When the lead block goes up through, he goes up through, follows him. Now he gets out in the open and tries to use his speed to get out to the outside.
Gain of 15, not 13. It'll be first down and 10 on the 35-yard line. Wolfley and Gay are now the running backs for West Virginia. And Wolfley, the fullback, goes in motion. White under a rush, fires away, and it is almost intercepted by Linwood. It was intended for Bennett, the tight end, and Byron Linwood, who made the big defensive play on that last West Virginia series when he made the tackle, forced the fumble, and TCU recovered and went in to score. Watch him here now.
Well, it's a crossing pattern by Bennett. He's coming all the way across the field. Linwood is really trying to play catch-up to the ball just a fraction high. He's trying to make a great catch and almost tipped it back into Linwood's hands.
Second down, 10 on the 35. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to go, third quarter. West Virginia 31, TCU 14, 26th annual Bluebonnet Bowl. You're looking at Willie Drury, who's the big play man in the first half. Split to the left side. Dean goes to Hollifield. Hollifield making a cut, making big yardage. He is pulled down from behind. Brought down by Billy Oliver when it looked like he was on the way. Down to the 44-yard line of TCU, a 22-yard gallop by John Hollifield, a walk-on from Romulus, Michigan.
Well, they're doing an excellent job at that line of scrimmage now. The tight end and the Jolliffe and DeJarnette have to be doing an excellent blocking job for that play to open up the fashion it did then.
Quickly, let's go to Steve Grad.
Darryl Talley's now line linebacker with Buffalo, former West Virginia star. How do you help coach here on the sideline?
For the some reason, all I got to tell the defensive backs and the linebackers and the defensive linemen to keep hitting them. Because my opinion is you got to hit people in order to win.
Well, you proved it in pro football.
No, I proved it by playing here, then playing there.
Okay, Darryl Talley, former West Virginia star, now with Buffalo.
All right, Steve, thanks very much. His brother John is the number 3 quarterback out of East Cleveland, Ohio.
That's a shot at Kenneth Davis down there on the sideline, and I can tell you there's disappointment in that young man. He really wanted to have a great ball game here in this and propel himself into that Heisman Trophy candidate next year. The play before was maybe the first foul up of West Virginia's head this evening offensively.
Second down 10. Looked like a busted play all the way. Second and 10 here for Kevin White. White going to his tailback Gay, and he is strung out across the way to the sideline by David Caldwell, number 48. Caldwell, the linebacker from San Antonio, started a lot of ball games this year, but that time Ron Wolfley, number 36, got very little. It'll be third down 8 after a gain of 2. Wolfley had a touchdown pass in the first half. Down 8. Hollifield has carried the ball 8 times for 57 yards and 1 touchdown, and he is now the tailback again for West Virginia. But he is going to be a wide out right now. He is wide to the right as Drury comes back in motion to the left side. Kevin White bumps once. Now he is going for Drury, who is wide open. Overshot him. Oh, my goodness. Gary Spann, a linebacker, wound up covering Drury.
That's that mismatch that we've been talking about. They put the motion, and as you noticed, they put Wolfley on the other side, so someone was forced to covering. They brought Drury round in motion. He did kind of a flat and up route, had him isolated against Spain, the linebacker, and that's a mismatch, as you know.
Ooh, boy. So TCU escapes the bullet on that one. Fourth down, a punting situation for West Virginia's Mountaineers, and Steve Superick with a 42.3 punting average for the year, had a 71-yarder against Penn State, will kick it away. Billy Jones going back as a single safety for TCU. Superick line drives the ball down to Billy Jones, who catches it on the run. He's up to the 20, the 25, and up to about the 27, where he is dropped, and that's where TCU will take over. A punt of 27 yards and a 12-yard return. So TCU scoring on its last possession after a fumble recovery. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. TCU will put the ball in play at its own 29 where they'll spot the ball.
They're really dominated this third quarter. If they could take it now and move down in here and score. If they score early in the fourth quarter, they've got a chance to pull this ball game out.
Tony Jeffrey and Barry Riddick are the running backs for TCU. Gully at quarterback. Gully going to air it out. He's going to go long for Manus, and it is incomplete. Good coverage by Andrew Jones, number 6, the weak side cornerback, the blue chipper out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It'll be second down 10 for TCU. You know, one of the things, Ed Biles, about this game, it's been relatively penalty-free. Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with.
I knew what you was thinking, because I was thinking the same thing. At halftime, there's only 2 penalties on one team and 1 penalty on the other. And that's the way it should be. Let them play, unless it's an out-and-out, just a tough violation. Hi, Mom.
That's for all the moms out there. Second down. Gully handing off to Riddick, and Riddick straight ahead across the 30. Dale McDonald, the middle guard, makes the stop, and they get about, well, let's see, they're going to spot the ball, check that, back at the 28-yard line.
Speaking of moms, Merrill, all of us working the ball game Sunday would like to wish you and your wife Jeanette a happy anniversary. This is your 38th anniversary this evening, huh?
Yeah, there's a law against getting married when you're 12 anymore, you know?
Yeah, but you're just a piker. Her father and mother, 97 and 95, have been married 72 years. That's amazing.
Oh, they're great people. Third down and 10, Gully. And Gully being chased, and Gully's going to run. He cannot get to the outside. He gets to about the 33, and Larry Holly, the free safety, makes the tackle on him. It'll be fourth down for TCU.
That was a big series for TCU. They really needed to move the ball and move downfield and get some points out of it. They really sat here feeling that they could have accomplished it with that possession. We might have gotten themselves back in the ballgame.
And a big situation there for the defense, rather, of West Virginia.
Yeah, the pressure, though, of course, right now is on TCU. They need touchdowns. They needed them badly.
James Gargis and a fake punt. Can they get the first down? They do. Garland Little, a defensive back, and why not? Jim Wacker. We're down 31-14. We got to do something, and they get the first down.
Well, that's a gutsy call, and a call like that is set up for the opportunity to audible if what they anticipated West Virginia's special teams to be in is not there. They would have audibled out of that, and they would have punted the ball. But it was the ideal situation for what their coaching staff had looked at on the films. Both teams coming up with a fake punt and running the ball on fourth down situations this game.
First and 10 on the 40 for TCU. Anthony Gully at quarterback. 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Gully looking to throw to this side, and does to Manus, and he dives to make the catch in West Virginia territory to the 45-yard line, a gain of 15. James Manus, the All-Southwest Conference receiver.
Well, Manus is just down there now doing a square-out pattern. Now watch him lay out here and catch this ball. He really lays it out, looks it into those hands. Look at those eyes watching the ball all the way into the hands. That's what you call good hand-eye coordination, great concentration by the receiver. That's why he has a chance to be a pro.
33 seconds to go now in the third quarter. They show blitz. And here they come. Gully in trouble, and Gully goes down as Larry Holly, the free safety, was coming on the blitz. 17 seconds to go. Loss there of about 5. Let's go to Steve Grad.
This is Wes Turner, who's got a sprain. Tell us about the intensity that's going on out there, especially by the Mountaineers.
Well, the intensity is good because we came down here and they wasn't giving us no respect. So we come down here and we said, well, we have to make people give us respect by winning this last game. So everybody's fired up and ready to play.
All right, you had a great first half. Hope that knee heals real quick. Merle?
All right, Steve, we've reached the end of the line for the third quarter. At the end of 3, West Virginia 31, TCU 14, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. Merle Herman and Ed Biles with you. Fourth quarter Bluebonnet Bowl. It is a second down. The pitch coming back to Jeffrey of TCU, and he is across the 45 to about the 44-yard line down in West Virginia territory, and Stacy Smith, the quarterback, makes the tackle. It'll be a third down coming up for TCU about 9. Let's go to Dwayne Dow.
Well, Merle, for the first time, this TCU sideline is alive. These fellas now think they may have a chance to win this ball game. If they can get an early touchdown here, they've got plenty of time to pull it out in the fourth quarter. Back to you, Merle.
All right, Dwayne, they have lost Kenneth Davis, their great All-America running back, and 5th in the Heisman Trophy balloting this year, and Tony Jeffrey just hobbled off the field. They're the number 1-2 running punch of TCU, and we've got an injured Mountaineer on the field. After 3 quarters, West Virginia 422 yards total offense, TCU 229 yards total offense. It looks like Mark Tipps, who is the injured player. Let's go down to Steve Grad.
This is Mark Boggs, the Mountaineer man with an 1800 Kentucky long rifle. Show us how you handle it.
Thank you, Steve. We fashioned this after the very early models that Daniel Boone would have used. We put gunpowder in here, put it in, put a percussion cap on here, and then we let her fly.
Let's hear it. Really gets them fired up here for the West Virginia side.
Well, Cam Zopp was the injured player for West Virginia. He has been removed from the field. It's third down coming up, 9 yards to go. And Gully throwing to the near side to Manus. He's got the first down. Breaking a tackle, diving down about the 22-yard line of West Virginia. Brought down by Andrew Jones, the weak cornerback, number 6. The freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Gain of 22 for Manus, who is now starting to have a very big night for TCU.
Well, you see him coming across in motion there. Now he's going to go down, stay out wide to the outside. West Virginia converged on the inside. Now they come back out trying to make the tackle line. They've made 2 big plays. That third down play and the fourth down play here before, where they ran the fake punt on this drive.
Manus, 5 carries, 5 receptions, 90 yards. Gully handing off to Riddick, and there's a fumble. Who's got it? Looks like TCU might have recovered it at about the 20-yard line. West Virginia says they have it, though. And do the officials agree? Well, we don't know. Timeout. They're going to unstack him.
I guarantee you there's a lot of fighting going on down underneath that pile right now. West Virginia comes up with it.
West Virginia recovers the fumble, stopping TCU at about the 21-yard line.
They see him come down line of scrimmage now. They watch them walk the ball loose right there, trying to dive and fight to get that extra yardage. Now the scramble begins. Now, very interesting. They went to the unbalanced line that time, Merle. And the few times they've tried to do some things a little bit different without Kenneth Davis in there, the timing and the sync of things just isn't what it normally should be. They went unbalanced. They hadn't done that since way early in the ball game.
We've got a timeout. West Virginia leading 31-14. We'll be right back. 1-yard line. Kevin White outstanding at quarterback tonight, putting 31 points on the board for the Mountaineers. Handing off to Ron Wolfley, the fullback, and he dives out to about the 25. We may have a holding call, though. Flag was dropped to the backfield. Byron Linwood made the tackle for TCU, the strong safety, and, well, TCU's number 57, Gary Spence, said, hey, those guys did it.
Well, when that flag goes down that quick in that area and it's an inside running play, you can rest assured there's going to be a holding penalty.
And that's Jeffrey, who is down on the sideline for TCU. Boy, TCU has escaped all year without major injuries. Have been hit hard tonight. Illegal use of the hands, says the referee, Dick Burleson.
First and 15 for West Virginia at the Mountaineers' 16-yard line.
And we wanted to bring in J. Fred Duckett, who's the longtime voice of the Houston Astrodome. And Happy New Year to J. Fred, who also handles media relations for the Bluebonnet. TCU, 2 penalties, 15 yards. West Virginia, 3 penalties, 35 yards. First and 15, West Virginia. White, little play action. And he flips it over to Wolfley, and he breaks a tackle and gets an extra 5 yards. He had picked up the 5 they lost. He was hit by Gary Spann, and then he picked up an extra, well, they're going to say an 8-yard pickup overall. So we'll give him an extra 3 on the second effort. 13 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the ball game. West Virginia leading at 31-14. This is West Virginia's 4th consecutive bowl appearance. Second down call. That's Mullins splitting out way to the right side near the sideline. Hand off to the tailback. Hollifield gets a block on the corner and is out across the 30 to about the 32. He'll be close to a first down. Byron Linwood, the strong safety, up to make the tackle. A 7-yard pickup on the play, and we'll have a timeout to check the measurement. Well, we have this opportunity. We had an opportunity to meet last night with Gee of West Virginia, who became president of that fine institution at the age of 37, former dean of the law school there, homegrown product. Athletic director Freddie Schaus and his wife Barb. Assistant Athletic Director Tom Shoup. We thank all those fine gentlemen for their cooperation and assist in telecasting the ball game tonight. First down, handoff going to the tailback, Gay, and Gay right at the middle of the 39. Kent Trammell, the nose tackle, making the stop after a 7-yard pickup.
Bill Lake, fine offensive center for West Virginia. They're doing an excellent job in that inside block. They're starting to move the ball inside now, and Scott Barrows and Lake and D. Jarnett. When you see that somebody move the ball inside, that center and both guards really have to be coming off the ball, get into those defensive linemen and controlling that line of scrimmage.
Second down, 4 for West Virginia. Kevin White has gone all the way at quarterback for the Mountaineers. And White to Wolfley, and he crosses the 40, fumbles a football. TCU comes up with it. Unless the play was dead. No, it's TCU's ball. Or is it? Dean caused the fumble. TCU has the football on the recovery.
Well, we see him here now take a reverse pivot, giving the ball, and he tries to cut back. And as he tries to cut back, see him right there now as they come in, they hit him from the blind side. He didn't see that. He was carrying the ball just a little bit loose. Coaches say, so here's the shot of it from another different angle. Watch him cut back here now. Watch the player come from the outside and put the bonnet right on the ball. See him hit right on that ball in there. Now it pops out. Then the scramble for the recovery.
And Gary Spann comes up with it, the linebacker, and TCU has it on the 42-yard line of the Mountaineers. Now at quarterback is Scarafa, and he goes down.
Well, once again, Merrill, they went with that unbalanced line, and West Virginia has really done a great defensive job. Every time they go into that unbalanced line, it appears as if West Virginia is audible into a slant or angle defense, and they're slanting to the side of that unbalanced line, and so far TCU hasn't counteracted that by coming back to the short side with anything.
The loss takes the ball to the 47 of the Mountaineers. It is second down, 15. Anthony Scaraffa at quarterback. He came on in the second quarter. A dive straight ahead to Tony Jeffrey, and he gets a couple to the 44, and that's all. David Grant, number 98, the middle guard, making the stop. 10 minutes, 57 seconds left to go in the game.
Well, if they've got anything up their sleeve and anything they think they can get accomplished, here's the perfect time that they need it. They need this third down play badly. With a little less than 11 minutes to go in the ball game, they need to get into the score.
Third down, 12, 448 yards total offense, West Virginia, 250 TCU. 5 seconds left on that clock, and Scaraffa breaks a tackle. He's getting to the outside, trying to shake the linebacker, but he's not quite able to do it completely. And Derek Christensen, showing outstanding speed, number 49, got him after an 8-yard pickup.
Well, it's going to be fourth down, Maryland. I would think that in this situation, they'll go for it on this fourth down play rather than punt the ball. Now, he needed just one block out there, and he'd have made that first down. He's sprinting out, rolling out off that unbalanced, again to the unbalanced side, to the wide side.
Quickly to Steve Grad.
All right, among the important things here at the Bluebonnet Bowl for the coaches, Coach Nealon of West Virginia and Jim Walker of TCU, they will get a special one-week cruise, them and their wife, from Commodore Cruise Lines. We'll talk to them about it a little later. A little extra bonus here from the Bluebonnet Bowl.
Okay, Steve, I think Ed and I should go along, though.
Well, I think they'd rather have us go. They'll be out busy recruiting.
TCU 2 out of 2 on fourth down plays. Fourth down here, Scaraffa to throw, zips it in to number 84, Keith Burnett, and they do it again. 3 out of 3 on fourth down plays. A gain of 8 yards and a first down at the 23. Make that 13 yards and a first down at the 23.
Well, you got to look at what he's looking into now, and you can see it from the defensive secondary standpoint. You see him roll out here now. This is what the defensive back looks at, and he's working back to the inside. Burnett coming inside there. Just gets underneath, makes a nice catch. Good concentration, but this young sophomore is playing well for TCU.
First down on the 23. 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the ball game. Scaraffa to throw. Scaraffa hits number 80, Dan Sharp, the flex end, or the tight end, if you will, at the 15-yard line. Dan Sharp, the senior from Boerne, Texas, a gain of about 10. It'll be close.
And here's what we talked about now, coming rolling out back into the short side. The tight end now comes down, just breaks to the outside. He had 2 receivers out there. It's the first time they've been throwing into the short side.
It'll be second down, inches to go, inside the 15 in West Virginia territory. Scaraffa, the quarterback. They go for the first down with Jeffrey slamming straight ahead. Stopped by David Grant, the middle guard, who slid over there to make the play, and they might want to take a look with the sticks on this one.
Well, one of the interesting things about TCU and their veer offense, Merrill, and talking to Coach Wacker, most coaches, when they do some audible or they anticipate blitzes from the defensive people, they'll go to the passing game. TCU likes to audible and go to the running game. That was an audible to running play because West Virginia was showing blitz.
And they did not get the first down. Third and inches. Scaraffa throws on the run, and it is incomplete. And it'll be fourth down. Keith Burnett was the intended receiver on the far side of the field. Andrew Jones, who's over there on the coverage, number 6. Jones has been very active defensively tonight.
Well, they do. There's the defensive coach signal in now. He'll give some signals. He'll put his hands up. One thing means one thing. One thing he puts the coverage, the front. See him put his hands out. Whatever that signal means, the defensive captain then will make that call.
That's Dennis Brown, the defensive coordinator. Fourth down, inches. TCU 3 out of 3 on fourth down plays. They show blitz. And a dive by Scaraffa, and I believe he has it. The ball came loose, but the play was over. Larry Holly, the free safety, number 9, coming up on the hit on Scaraffa. It looked like Scaraffa picked up enough for the first down, but they may want to bring the sticks because it's going to be so very close again, and they will bring in the sticks.
That's tough yardage down there. Now, again, you see the blitz. You see the West Virginians all up the line of scrimmage there. That's Holly's safety up in there making that play, and they're running the ball against blitzes. Of course, the fourth down is short. You almost have to do it. This is going to be very close.
We have 8 minutes, 50 seconds left to play in the ball game. 43,260 in the Astrodome tonight. And they... Oh, my goodness. West Virginia has taken over by an inch. First, TCU was showing we have it, and then the Mountaineers said, wait wait a minute. That was an inch in our favor. And so the Mountaineers hold, and it's 8:50 left to play in the ball game, and West Virginia taking over. So TCU, 3 out of 3 on fourth down plays, is now 3 out of 4.
And how many times does that little bit inch make a bit of difference? And the spot of the ball is extremely important in that situation.
So let's take a timeout. West Virginia leading at 31-14. 8:50 to play in the Bluebonnet Bowl, and Mountaineers, after the defense has stopped TCU, Kevin White and company taking over, first down for the Mountaineers. They go to the run. Hollifield hit behind the line of scrimmage, covered by Gary Spann, the linebacker, 57. After an initial hit by Bill Tomany, number 98. Kevin White, who had 262 yards passing in the first half, hit 2 out of 8 for 28 yards in the third quarter.
Well, TCU defense really slowed them down, and the offense had the opportunity, and that was a big situation there if they could have points on the board. The last play, Merle, that's the first time this evening that West Virginia has gone with the unbalanced line. They went unbalanced to the wide side of the field, ran that way, TCU stopped them.
Second down, 10, no gain on the last play. Pecan and Gay are the running backs. That's Drury in motion. And Kevin White firing away, incomplete, intended for Drury. We have a flag drop back on the 10-yard line, however. Taylor and Linwood had the coverage for TCU. While we have a moment, we'd also like to thank head coach Don Neal and his staff and sports information director Joe Bozick for their cooperation and help in the telecast of the ball game tonight. That penalty will be against West Virginia. Coach Don Nealon and his 4th consecutive bowl appearance.
Offense, decline,
the
third down.
Horned Frogs decline the penalty and take the down. It'll be 3rd and 10. In 1981, West Virginia beat Florida in a big upset in the Peach Bowl, 26-6. In fact, Charlie Pell burned the game film. Florida coach, he was a little hot, I guess. They lost to Florida State in the 82 Gator Bowl game, and then last year, Don Nealon and West Virginia beat Kentucky in the Hall of Fame game.
National Weather Service has issued a flood.
His staff over there, his dad, who's 71 years old in Toledo, Ohio, just got out of the hospital with major surgery and
illegal procedure. Offense, first down.
He's doing well off major surgery, but his son is really thinking of him while he's down here in Houston.
A moment ago, once again, you saw Brad Hunt, number 70, with that mask on to protect a calcium deposit in his forehead. First down, 15 yards to go after the penalty. And Hollifield, who shows extreme quickness, gets out across the 25 to about the 27. Gain 3, brought down by Gary Spann. Let's go down to Dwayne Dow.
All right, Merle, we're with the Abel family. Mr. Abel has 2 degrees from Texas Christian. Mrs. Abel, are you a little disappointed?
A little disappointed, but it's been such a good season that we're proud of them no matter what happens tonight.
You obviously have lived through a lot of frustration with this team, not doing much over the years, but here they are in a bowl game.
Indeed, we're proud of them. Still Horned Frog pride. Still Horned Frog pride.
You have some of that Horned Frog pride, young man?
Oh, yeah, purple and white, fight, fight, fight.
How about that, Ben?
Second down, 12. Here come the blitzers as Kevin Dean fires away. The pass is caught by Willie Drury. A flag was dropped. Billy Oliver, the cornerback, made the hit after a 13-yard pickup. But let's see what the penalty flag is about.
Well, it almost appeared that we made that comment about the penalties too early. A little while ago, we talked about how few penalties we've had. Now these last few plays, we've had a lot of flags.
13 yards in the pass completion from Kevin White to Willie Drury.
And that,
offsides, defense, decline, first down.
So the Mountaineers obviously take the game.
Well, it wasn't any question of that. You can see the shot there, stepping in the gap between the center and the guard, jumped off sides. Maybe the quarterback used a little bit longer cadence, and sometimes that quarterback will change the cadence. Instead of going always on 2, go on 3, or go on a quick count. You'll get them jumping around a little bit.
It'll be first down, 10 on the 41-yard line. 6:36 left to play in the ball game. Again, TCU showing blitz. Hollifield taking the handoff, getting to the line of scrimmage. And that's about it. L.B. Washington, 58, the defensive right tackle, made the stop. Jim Wacker, in his second year at TCU, has turned the program around completely, has brought excitement to the Fort Worth campus that hasn't been there for over 25 years. And one of his biggest supporters is Bob Lilly, the great All-America from TCU, who played in the first Bluebonnet Bowl game.
He's created a lot of excitement up there, and I'm sure that right now he's sitting on having an outstanding recruiting year. A lot of people in the state had the opportunity to do the job that he's done.
Mullins split wide to the right side on a second down call, and again the defense reacts quickly as Bill Tomany stops that play. Gain of maybe 1 at the most. Hollifield 227 yards rushing during the regular season on 57 carries, suddenly is having a very good night tonight.
Well, I think you're seeing the class of Don Nalen, and having coached and been around him and know the young man, I think we're seeing the class come out right here now. He's using the clock and eating it up a little bit, but he also realizes that at this stage of the ball game with this less time, he doesn't have to go with that wide open thing. I think we'll see him throw the ball on third down, but he's really not doing the wide open things that he had planned early in the game.
Third down, we've got Randolph in the ball game now, and a completion to Pecan. Linwood making the tackle, a 13-yard pickup on the play. Taylor also in on the tackle. That's Gerald Taylor, the sophomore from Dallas. Chris Pecan getting that first down.
The nice thing about this from Donnie Nalen's standpoint is that he's getting the opportunity to play all the folks and give them a chance to get some participation, and it's like an extra ball game preparing for next year.
So, first and 10 on the 46. Now Davis to throw. He airs it out, going for Mullen. And Mullen is covered by Sean Thomas all the way down the sideline. Sean Thomas, number 22. Mullen had a first half touchdown reception of 62 yards, which is the longest West Virginia pass play of the year.
Well, I think there's a little bumping and shoving going around here, but I think the official maybe you show some pretty good discretion here by just allowing in this type of score in this type of game situation. He just let the incidental contact go and didn't throw a flag. I think he showed great judgment.
Second and 10. Willie Drury, an outstanding first half. Kevin Dean, an outstanding first half. And Kevin Dean handing off to Pat Randolph, the tailback. Randolph stopped by Gerald Taylor after a couple of yards, and that's about it. Randolph is from Folsom, Pennsylvania. During the regular season, carried for 391 yards. Third down, about 8. 4 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the ball game. West Virginia 31, TCU 14. We'd like to acknowledge the cooperation of the TCU folks, Chancellor William Tucker, Athletic Director Frank Windigger, brought Jim Wacker and his staff to TCU. Third down play. It's Pecan and about maybe a foot or so. Taylor, the linebacker, there to stop the play again.
Well, that was a play that they put in for this ball game against TCU's nickel defense. They felt like possibly on third down they might be able to run that quick trap and break something up the middle. Didn't have any success with it. A lot of times when you put something new in that you haven't used during a regular season, it'll work against you.
With 3 minutes, 50 seconds left in the ball game, a punting situation for West Virginia, and Steve Suprick is in to do the kicking. Wayne Waddy is deep for TCU. Clock running down to 3:39 left to play in the ball game. West Virginia 467 total yards, 279 for TCU. We're down to 2 seconds, and West Virginia is going to take the penalty, it would appear, and they do, as they go down to 0, and that'll cost him 5 yards, and Suprick really doesn't care that much about it. We'd also like to thank Glenn Stone, the SID at TCU, and his assistants Charlie Durker and Lisa Greider for their cooperation in our telecast tonight. Jim Wacker and his staff.
Dead ball foul, delay of game, offense, 4th down.
So the 5-yard penalty shoves the ball back to the 48-yard line, and Suprick will boot it from about his own 43 or 4. It is 31-14 in the final minutes of the game. West Virginia leading TCU as Suprick gets it way up in the air. Fair catch called for by Texas Christian. Grabbed on the 20-yard line by Wayne Waddy. And that's where the Frogs will take over. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the ball game. West Virginia ahead 31-14. We'll be back right after this message. TCU has the football just inside its own 20-yard line with 3 minutes, 19 seconds left in the ball game. Trailing 31-14 to the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Scaraffa at quarterback. Scaraffa back up the middle. It is intercepted by West Virginia at the 45-yard line as Stacy Smith, number 4, picks it up. And West Virginia has the ball at the 43-yard line of TCU. Intended for Keith Burnett was the pass, but Smith steps in there to pick it up.
Well, they got themselves in a great position. They're sitting back there playing a lot of zone coverage now. They know that he's forced to throw the ball deep. The defensive secondary just sits back there. They break on the ball now, and of course they make the interception. Just sitting back in the middle, looking for it. It's a difficult pass to try to get accomplished when teams are sitting back there in deep coverage.
So a very big night for West Virginia in its 4th consecutive bowl appearance. TCU has not gone bowling for so many years, back to 1959. But the Horned Frogs have excited their fans throughout the Southwest and grabbed the imagination of the country with their big play offense, but West Virginia's defense has been equal to the occasion this evening. West Virginia going to the run. Pat Randolph taking the handoff from Tony Rita, who's the head coach of the Oilers after years as a college coach. Xavier in Cincinnati. You've got a pretty good track record, Coach.
Well, thank you, Merle. It's been a pleasure working with you.
3rd down. And diving straight ahead is Chris Pecan. Stopped by Kevin Dean, who was left the ball game earlier with an injury, but is now back in action.
TCU called another timeout. They're going to use their 3 timeouts. They're thinking there's no sense taking them to the locker room. We got this far. We might as well enjoy it. We might as well try to make every bit of it count for us. And, you know, they had a great week down here, though. These players, they had the opportunity to see a professional basketball game the other night, and visit the children's hospitals and things of that nature.
And they did a little eating, too, at a couple of big dinners. Let's go to Steve Grad.
Thank you. This is Bob Yaksick. Happy New Year to you, Bob, and I know Willie will be proud of this trophy.
Thank you very much.
Flags go down as Supra gets the kick away, and it goes into the end zone. TCU might have been offside. You know, picking a most valuable player in West Virginia tonight, that was a tough selection because Kevin White had an outstanding first half, but Drury was the guy who really came up with the big plays on those receptions, and I thought Ed kind of broke it open in the first half.
Well, you and I had talked about it there late in the 3rd quarter, and we were pretty much in agreement that that's who we felt should get it because he made the big plays when the ball game was within reach. You know, he had 4 catches there in the first half for 117 yards, and he was exciting. He was involved in a couple punt returns there where he made good yardage on that. I think it was a fair selection. Difficult decision, though, between he and White.
Offside. Defense. First down.
So TCU offside. First down for the Mountaineers from Morgantown, West Virginia.
Well, that's one of those special team mistakes that the coach is going to be very unhappy with because in that situation, it's 4th down and less than 5. Every team has a call, poison or a red alert or whatever it might be, for those linemen not to jump across the line of scrimmage or not to get in that neutral zone. They'll be unhappy about that because you always stress that, and special teams coaches will stress anytime it's less than 5 yards, don't be offside. That's really a big mistake by the TCU players.
Tony Rita, who opened the season at quarterback, is now in there for West Virginia. He started against Ohio and Louisville. He's a junior from Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Ed Hill is now running back. He's at the tailback spot for West Virginia. Here comes the blitz, and here comes Pat Randolph. And Randolph bangs down about the 31, where you stop by Kevin Dean, number 97. And we have 2 minutes and 34 seconds left to play in this football game, the 26th annual Bluebonnet Bowl game, a New Year's Eve tradition from the Astrodome.
And when you get in this situation, Merrill, they'll be blitzing every play. They're trying to fill every gap, trying to force a fumble, trying to make something happen. There's no sense being conservative. The safety was blitzing that time. You'll just see them throwing everything they possibly can.
Second down coming up. 8 yards to go on the 30-yard line of TCU. Tony Rita calls it for the Mountaineers. Rita to Randolph, and Randolph on his feet at the 15, the 10, and he is down to about the 9-yard line. Sean Thomas, the cornerback from Sacramento, California, and Billy Oliver, also out of Sacramento, California, up to make the hit after a 24-yard pickup.
That's one of the things that happens, though. When you go into that blitzing defense and when you're gambling and trying to get the ball, all that back has to do is break the line of scrimmage, and he has a good chance to turn play into a long gainer, especially if you have a missed tackle in there by the Jones boy.
First down on the 10-yard line. Minute 44 left to play in the ballgame. Slot to the left for West Virginia. Mountaineers lead 31-14. Again, Randolph, and he is knocked down just about at the line of scrimmage by Bill Tomini. In the name of tonight's most valuable player, which is Willie Drury, Toyota will donate $1,000 to his university and the General Scholarship Fund at West Virginia University. There he is, Willie Drury, our most valuable player of the 26th Bluebonnet Bowl. And there have been some great ones. We mentioned Bob Lilly, the all-time All-Pro, All-Mr. Dallas Cowboy, great All-American for TCU in the first game here.
That's Willie Drury split out wide to the left side. And Ed Hill gets the call in the carry this time for a couple. Andy Pitts, number 49, the linebacker from Alvarado, Texas, making the stop at about the 7. We're down to 45 seconds to go in the ball game. We hope wherever you've been watching tonight, you've enjoyed the telecast of the 26th Bluebonnet Bowl game, and we want to again wish you all a very happy New Year. And wherever you might be this evening, party time or wherever you might be, if you're driving, drive very carefully. We want to see you for 85. It's right around the corner. Drury in the slot to the left. Tony Rita. Tony Rita goes to Randolph. Randolph met just about at the line of scrimmage, wrestled down by Byron Linwood, who's out an outstanding defensive game for TCU. 9 seconds to go in the game now. And 2 seconds, 1 second, and it is all over. And West Virginia wins it, beating TCU.